rebuilt like an improved version, and that was kind of our focus back then. And yeah, I guess a lot of like structural change. I don't know if that's the right word to say it, but like since we last met, but I guess believe that change is like yeah one of the bigger ones. Yeah, I think um yeah, I mean, so I think in general, like the basic reason is like not super deep. I'm like, there's a lot of things we want to build out. I think like believe structurally, like I think everyone knows like they're kind of just going a little bit in a different direction, and like
Yes.
the core, I don't, different tangent. I find that they have like their name is sort of like hard because I'm like my core belief is like actually it's not meant to be a pun, but some of the initial like things that I believed in the beginning is like relatively constant for like consistent for me, and like they're going in a different direction. So like there's a lot of things we want to build out, and we realize like we just need to like do it independently. I think a lot
Totally.
of it to the core is like with anything in this area, um, like I guess like holders might not see this like perspective as much, but like there's a lot of very like there's tons of legal considerations like and like that's one of like the main challenges here in this space is like as someone who kind of like operates one of these coins like how it's like having like developing this like deep understanding of the law and like understanding what you can do. And when it had started out, like like Believe was kind of like interested in that part as well. And I kind of myself went deeper into like the law, and like that in like these sort of like structural considerations. So I think that was one of the reasons. And like going forward, I'm like, okay, like we just like kind of need like full control over this thing.
Yeah, totally. And your hesitation is not new. There a lot of the projects is well known. We've documented at length, so we
Yeah,
won't belabor it. One of the questions that I saw pop up in the timeline, someone wanted me to ask, like, did you consider like SOAR or Maya at Street or any other kind of like an area to migrate to? I don't know if you have any thoughts there at some of the other like models that are out there, like either equity anchor or something like SOAR, which is collateralized by like a senior debt note.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, those are the two that I know, Street and Soar. I'm not sure if there's other ones that you are familiar with, but yeah, those are the two main ones that I've kind of seen in this space. Um, yeah, like I've like kind of like I think these are two kind of interesting. They both have interesting ideas.
Have you spoken to either of the teams?
Um, well, I've spoken a lot. I've spoken to a lot of people in this space, but yeah, I've talked to, I have talked to both of them. Yeah, those are very
Okay,
interesting.
cool. Yeah,
Um,
yeah. If you
I
needed
was
an intro to Nick at SOAR, he was asking us, and I was like, I don't know, maybe Spencer will get back to you. But all right, cool.
oh,
I like
oh,
that.
Nick's a homie in general. I talk to him all the time.
All right, I love it. I know. I guess Nick. Yeah, I kind of forget Nick was at Believe at one
Yeah,
point. That's how fast things have changed. Okay,
yeah. I kind of recently had interesting to kind of like hear their structures and approaches as well. I kind of like talked to Maya recently as well, to hear his perspective as well.
yeah, we've actually had a lot of discussion with Maya recently. We had him on actually this week.
Oh, cool.
I like what Street's doing. ELB and Matt Dobby, and yeah, I think Cled is kind of like if the Cled migration goes well and their current robotics launch that they have teed up goes well, like they will be up there with SOAR in the consideration set, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Something like MetaDAO for people that may be unfamiliar might not be the right model just because it's almost like you have to be pre-token for MetaDAO to really kind of like work. But anyways, love what you're doing. Let's talk about your last fundraise. You had A16 Scout Fund on there. Like how I understand Scout Fund working is that you have to have a relationship with like one of the VC scouts there. Is that true? And like, can you share a little bit about how you got them on your cap table?
okay, yeah. Uh, yeah, in okay, so like when I initially started working on this like this company, yeah, I mean, I guess the first public thing was like on Twitter. And I mean, as soon as I kind of like, I guess launched it, I mean, immediately we had a lot of VCs like reach out, um, and I had like talked to a lot of people. Um, yeah, I kind of had initially talked to so like several kind of VCs reached out. We talked to some people. Yeah, I mean, just kind of through mutual interest in the space, I kind of had talked to a partner at A16Z. We kind of had a conversation for a while. And they're kind of, I mean, for them, like they typically like kind of lead Series A, like 20-30 million dollar investments, kind of like these like larger scale investments. um and I was kind of talking to them. I was like, I'm kind of like early on, like I was kind of like 4 weeks into starting the company.
Oh,
But
so it had happened that early.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Very like kind of company was very new. So I mean, I just kind of had talked to someone. I started with a partner makes A16Z. Yeah, I think I mean, I think as a firm, like I think A16Z, it's actually funny. Like after I started working in the company, like 1 to 2 months ago, I think A16Z started to like tweet about computer use and like release all these articles and that sort of thing. So I think they saw like it's kind of a new emerging market, and I'm like kind of like I guess an active player in the space, and they just kind of like I think want to talk to all the people who are very interested in the computer use space now. So kind of
Okay, and now they're an investor. I love it.
yeah, yeah. Well,
Love it for
to
you,
be
by the
yeah,
way. That's awesome for you. Congrats on that.
yeah. Well, to be fair, A16Z is like different than the A16Z Scout.
Yes. And for those that don't know, the Scout, I believe
Yeah,
each there's like 30 partners or something like that, and they each have like a budget of a couple hundred grand that they can write like little checks into. But ultimately, it gets them. They're doing that so they have a feeder into the main fund if
yeah, exactly.
something starts to get traction. So,
Yeah,
um,
ultimately, their kind of like frame of mind is like, this is a new emerging market. Like, invest early in a company, see where it is like 6 to 12 months from now, and then like go big on like the one they find like as the kind of category definer. Like, see how the space plays out. Like, I think that's like with a scout fund is like how kind of like these operate.
okay. And then I don't know, you had Z Fellows.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know if Ben continued on also being on your cap table. Can you talk maybe about the other partners that joined that are backing you now?
The other partners at where?
So yeah, or the other maybe investors. I'm just trying to
Oh,
get and
sorry.
understand.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
this raise came after we had last discussed, and just like you have Luke Whitting, you have Forum Ventures, you have at Corey Levy, and then Pasternak. Maybe just talk
yeah,
about some of the other characters. I shouldn't say characters. The other people on this raise.
yeah. Um, so I mean, Foreign Ventures is kind of the first, I guess you'd say first investor. Like I talked with them first. They I kind of like actively work with the partners at Foreign Ventures the most, kind of like most actively involved, and then yeah, I guess you would say like the two kind of like lead angels, I guess if you want to call it that, is like Corey Levy and Ben Pasternak. Um, and then A16C Scout and Luke Whiting, and then I also joined C Fellows as well. So I
Okay.
actually like Foreign Ventures, like there's kind of like for each one of these, I guess it's like a different component. Like I wanted to work with Foreign Ventures from the beginning because they have like a deep kind of like I guess B2B kind of I guess I want to say corporate network, but like ultimately like how to make this thing into a massive company, you sell into enterprises like, as a long term thing, and like they're very experienced in that front. And then yeah, Corey and Ben Pasternak as well, like as angels. So they've been kind of like involved in the beginning as well. And I think in general, like they're really good at like social distribution long term. Like, like, I think in their past they both worked on consumer apps.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I just wanted to give people that context because I think
Yeah,
people see these names and they just, want to hear it from your perspective. I don't know if you disclose the raise details in terms of the amount and valuation, and you don't have to comment, but just I don't know if you have anything you want to share there
mm-hmm.
specifically on how much you raised and yeah, what they valued the equity at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I kind of like didn't disclose that I yeah raised this kind of first round like a month and a half ago,
Yeah.
almost 2 months ago. Yeah, raised this first round. Yeah, I mean I didn't raise like a ton of like I wanted to think about like what is the kind of like lean raise, and then work out of that.
Yeah.
So
And to get you to like a point where you're paying like, is this to pay for compute or additional team? Like, do you have a kind of an idea of use of funds?
yeah, team. Actually, we've been very, I guess, I guess strategic about hiring. I've so far I've hired kind of one person. But like we have the capability to right now to like hire multiple people. We're very fine on runway.
Very fine on runway. I love it. And yeah, Spencer, I'm not just trying to ask just to give context. I know some
Yeah,
people disclose the raise. So maybe I'll kind of move past that. You launched Orgo V2. We showed a little bit of that functionality in a demo. We'll get into the product side in a second, but one of the key things you brought up was the soda. I believe it's soda scores. These are how good these agents are getting as compared to humans. You
yeah,
wrote some tweets about this. Can you maybe just talk about we're at 66%, a human is 70%. Is that
yeah,
correct?
yeah. It's the so yeah so that's just state of the art. Is just like an acronym for state of the art.
State of the art. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so sorry for not clarifying that. But yeah, there's like a random tweet that I fired off.
All right, acronym. Okay, that's an AI engineer acronym.
There's
Got
yeah,
it.
there's like a niche kind of I don't know in the
All
people
right.
who kind
I'm
of
I'm
develop things
not
like
read up on
qualify
SOTA scores yet, but now I know.
um yeah, in general, yeah, Opus this new model is very good, by the way. So this kind of broke the state of the art, and it's kind of nearing human performance. I think this model in general for computer use um, can sort of like accurately accomplish like 30 to 40-minute tasks. So like actually this kind of goes into like what the focus, like a lot of the focuses for me have been recently. So like the current, I guess the current market, or I guess the state of the art of this is um, the models for computer use in the past 1 to 2 months, they're quite reliable now, like clicking the right part of the screens, like navigating around, and is
Yeah.
becoming more fluid. The two biggest problems is still or cost and speed. So this model Opus can click around well, but it still kind of takes time. It's just kind of slow. You kind of wait for it to happen. So that's what I've been focusing on recently, like trying to answer the question of like how do we for customers, like for enterprise clients, like how do we um, get reasonable costs through automation and computer use, and kind of deliver it at reasonable speeds as well, like kind of operate a computer like to the same speed as a human.
And there's kind of two levers here. So I want to quantify this. One is you can spin up a lot of agents, but the
Yeah.
other lever is that each of those agents individually are more capable. And so you kind of get, quote me if I'm wrong, almost like an exponential improvement, maybe not improvement, but capacity to do work. Is
Mhm.
that accurate? Like, is that the dynamics that you're seeing? Is not only can you scale up more agents, but they're also individually becoming more powerful?
Yeah, for sure. I think for me, the interesting thing right now seems like focusing on like a single agent, like an individual, and like how can we make the performance per agent better? Because what once you kind of like really nail the like performance per agent and like get them specialized and be able to like efficiently complete the tasks, or use the computer, like you can easily scale it up like arbitrarily. Like once you really like nail one of them performing well, then you could scale it to like 100 or 500 for
Oh,
that
wow.
task. Yeah.
Yeah. You could
So that's
basically like multiply them and yeah.
so there's a lot of things you can do kind of ourselves, like if you're developing agents or developing models. But one of the nice things, like a nice baseline, is like you can partly just ride the like wave of like the foundation models from OpenAI and Claude, and these kind of companies are getting better.
Yeah.
So like there's less work you have to do at the application layer as the models start to improve.
I love it. Really quick, some chat questions. Two people on the Orgo team. Um, there's a question here. Does Orgo have any enterprise clients? The last time we discussed, I believe you mentioned there was some Fortune 100 companies. I mean, this image kind of is, what all us knowledge workers maybe are dreading that are about to happen to our jobs. But can you maybe discuss if you've had any further discussions on its implementation into actual like work streams at companies?
Yeah, yeah. So in general, thus far, we launched for developers, iterated on that, launched a V2, talked to enterprise like kind of customers, like just like seeing what they sort of need. What we're targeting in the near term is not like large Fortune 500 enterprises. So like as of the past few weeks, I'm kind of talking to like scheduling 20 to 30 meetings, talking like Series A to Series B startups. So these are kind of like in sort of in the middle of an early stage startup in enterprise, so maybe like 10 to 20 employees. So like talking to these sort of people. So that's kind of what I'm targeting, and like kind of in the short term. So I mean, we talked to a lot of them so far. Like kind of, I think in January is when we're going to start customer pilots. We have to like ship a lot of things before then, but starting the kind of customer pilots in January for like these sort of Series A to Series B companies is where we're targeting right now.
Got it. And what do they have like specific use cases for the agents? Like what type of work do you feel like will be a good first example for those agents?
Yeah. So yeah, the people that we're talking to are these are companies that are actually starting to create computer use agents themselves. And there's a few kind of like primary industries that it like kind of overlaps. So in terms of like general industries, it's like insurance, healthcare, manufacturing, like logistics. I guess those are top 3 or 4. And then other like random examples, like for like customer support is like another example. So there's a lot of these emerging companies that exist now that are developing computer use agents for that specific vertical. So you can imagine like a like kind of clicking around maybe a Salesforce UI, or a,
Mm.
a customer support portal, or a kind of healthcare what do you call it, EMR, like these sorts of like visual navigation on the screen.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask like the type of work because I think everyone's used to AI at the application level. So it's
Yeah.
like, oh, the chatbot's going to respond to me. But what you're talking about is if I was a support rep, I would, go to Salesforce, grab my contact, go to my email, write them an email, then go to an Excel sheet, maybe update some numbers on their order status or something like that. And then that task goes to finance to go, enter it in some sort of ERP system. What you're talking about is the agents might do those tasks kind of individually on the Orgo, let's say, interface. Because you have that M to M or machine to machine communications, they can all kind of work together. Am I describing that accurately?
Yeah, exactly. Like, these are like manual, you said, yeah, like using spreadsheets, going through, kind of like entering email, sending email, like kind of navigating a CRM, like these kind of like super manual tasks. Um, and I think something like, I guess, interesting that we like kind of figured out, um, through like talking to a bunch of customers and like who is starting to use it now. We found a lot of like early, I guess, sometimes kind of like product market fit of like this characteristic of like a new startup or company which like has started to find something that works, and they're starting to scale up their company, like their company's starting to grow, and they don't want to overhire too early, so like rather kind of like, can you get these like AI employees is like, um
Can you give us AI
if,
employees?
yeah, if that makes sense. A lot of like, there's a lot of startups that are like starting to grow fast, or companies that are starting to grow fast, and they have like 30 or 40 tools that they use separately. So it's like, can you like offload half of those, like, maybe 15 of those tools to like an agent that kind of like manually goes in and like just does these like super tedious tasks. I think is like where we found success so far.
I want to talk about and shout out Rambo. Love your thread here. What differentiates Orgo from the competition? I noticed you have E2B, an
Yeah.
Orgo competitor, raised a 21 million Series A, valuing at, I don't know, 100 mil. They've onboarded 88% of Fortune 100s and half of Fortune 500s. Can you just give people maybe an idea of what this company does, and maybe kind of your differentiation and approach?
Yeah, yeah. Um, so in this space in general, like, I guess you would say I would say three main competitors. I guess you would say. However, they're all kind of like different. They're not necessarily direct competitors. But I would say the number one would be like build it yourself. Like spend 3 months or 4 months, depending on like to build a kind of basic specialized infrastructure for yourself. Or two, E2B, or maybe, and three is there's another company that's some kind of in the same area called BrowserBase, and like all these three options kind of like accomplish or kind of different things, and I guess Orgo is positioned slightly different than all these options. But so I'll start with E2B. So that company is so they kind of have they're going for their own thing, and started kind of with something else, but their kind of primary business is not computer use. It is they run like code sandboxes. So you can imagine if you want to execute LLM generated code, that's their kind of primary business, and that's kind of like what encompasses that, like, kind of like 60% of enterprise, adoption, or kind of what this statistic is. So like an example of this, like if you have an LLM generate like a math formula, or Excel formula, and you just want to like execute the code in a safe, secure way, like that's what E2B does. And kind of recently they got into computer use. So in that sense, like they have kind of a like related product. So they first launched the kind of like Linux desktops. And I guess if you want to do a kind of direct comparison between those, for Orgo, like I'm focused on kind of like building a full developer platform specifically for computer use. They have like 5 or 6 different focus areas. Like I'm just going to kind of hyper focus on computer use. And I guess in a pure, just kind of like economic sense, I guess their average boot up times and like is like 5 seconds, and I'm kind of optimized about 10x faster, so about 500 milliseconds, and their cost basis is about 10 times higher.
Is
So
there some benefit to having faster boot up times? Like, is there like a use case where agents would boot up really quick and then spin down really quick?
mhm. um, yeah, I think in general it is like yeah, optimizing for this sort of, I guess, future where it's like, yeah, it's like you can spin up, do a task, and then sort of like spin it down. Um, and yeah, it depends on the sort of like task you're doing. In general, I think it's a bit like, I guess, deeper than like pure startup times. It's like how deep can you like specialize the infrastructure, like get it to like run on lightweight resources.
Speaking of those resources, last time you announced on MCG that you were adding GPU compute to the computers, or allowing people to add GPU
Yeah,
compute for things like gaming or heavy kind of tasks. Can you just maybe touch on some of your updates here? Like, is Windows currently available? And
yeah,
yeah, maybe let's get into some more product focus updates.
yeah. So in terms of product roadmap, it's been, I guess, very just like customer driven, just like talking to customers and see like prioritizing what they need. But we started with the lightweight Linux desktops, and then we added support for scaling up the RAM. So you can, start with like 2 GB, and then now you can scale to kind of like 128 gigabytes. So it's kind of like fluid resources in terms of RAM. And then we also added CPU. So we first started Linux, and then added larger RAM and CPU support. And then we added like multi-region support, so you can deploy onto kind of different server locations. So we kind of had built that out first, and then yeah, we built out Windows. Was the kind of next thing we did, and I think we're kind of like right after that step right now. We kind of like built this kind of Windows support. Yeah, pilot, like starting to use it now, and then GPUs is we haven't actually had a lot of the customer demand has like thus far not actually been a little bit towards that, in the near term at least. So I would say I would say 2 to 3 months, like probably when we like roll out the GPUs. I would say that one's like slightly not like direct priority today, but that's kind of like where we're at with it. Kind of like perfecting Linux, making that extremely good. Going into Windows, want to make that extremely good, and then kind of like roll out
When
GPU.
Windows, when Windows.
When Windows, it's
Yeah.
available now.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we don't have it like in the basic kind of free tier, but
Okay.
we like have support kind of users using that right now.
Got it. We all started on Windows PCs, so gotta have support there. I want to talk about this. You rolled out paid plans. Yeah, can you give us a little context into the paid plans? Did you see like demand for? Because the last time you almost said that you wanted to refund users.
Yeah,
Now you're rolling this out. Like, are we at the point where it's kind of like, okay, let's get the revenues generating and kind of scale up the revenue side of the business?
yeah. We kind of initially had done paid plan, or we kind of considered doing paid plans, like just kind of experiment, like refund, like see kind of like what the numbers look like, and then like we iterated, done a ton of improvements over like the last 2 to 3 months, and then like roll them out again. So I think in general, everything we do is kind of like experiment, like data driven, like kind of like numbers. I think effectively like developing products, you can just kind of build towards the numbers, like what are like the hotspots of like what features are people going to pay for, like how much, and like running it as an experiment. Um, so yeah, so like we roll that out, seeing demand. Ultimately, like I think how we're positioning as a business, like the majority of our revenue is going to come from like enterprise customers in the next like 6 months. um, but kind of roll that out, and it like helps inform the product roadmap as well.
Got it. The second part of this question, and it says we are focused on growth, making the product 10 times better over the next 60 days with major improvements. You talked about a change log too, that is like near real time or something like that. Can you just like allude to how we're making the product 10 times better? And are Orgo agents coding the product, Spencer, or are you coding it?
Yeah. Yeah. For using Orgo itself, like I think I'm kind of slowly just like, yeah, like trying to offload, like use it as more as possible, like kind of in our, I guess, like operations and then kind of day-to-day stuff. So I think, yeah, it will be like maybe a few months before I kind of use it to like build our product. Like right now, I think we're focusing on kind of like the manual kind of tasks. Like first, I had to kind of testing and using our product, giving me feedback, and then like right now, kind of collecting data, sending emails, like doing these like manual tasks, is what I use it for. But yeah, I think in general, I think at each step, like we've collected a lot of feedback, and like there's like certain parts of the product that we can just like rebuild and just like make much better. So I think there's a few parts to this. So from we kind of initially launched it, we launched it, had people using it, and then collected a bunch of user feedback, and then kind of launched a second version, and then we started to see like kind of it trending in the right direction of once we started making changes, like the average usage per user went up on average like 2 to 3 times. So it's like 2 to 3 times more usage per user. And then we're kind of thinking like, okay, like, yeah, we're getting a lot more usage per user, but like we want to go deeper. We want to do better. So I've kind of collected another just ton around another round of feedback, and we're gonna like redo a lot of the parts of the product because I think we can get another like 2 to 3 times. Because like ultimately we just want to build like the maximally kind of sticky product is like our goal. So we're gonna rebuild a lot of the kind of strip away parts of it, make it 10 times better. And then the other part is generally like just going deeper and being better at creating the best virtual machine infrastructure. I think thus far we've kind of like done well in the sense of like having the best benchmarks, like you know lowest kind of price point, like highest scale, like kind of to the point where we can run hundreds of thousands of VMs at a reasonable price. But going to
Per user or per seat, or is that hundreds of thousands across the whole system?
Right now it's hundreds of thousands per the whole thing, but
Okay, got it.
we can run we can run that kind of scale.
Yeah, but they gotta choose the enterprise plan, right?
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, to be fair, I think once the people that I have been talking to and who we're going to run the customer pilots with, they need approximately 50 to 100,000 VMs for the scale
Okay.
that they operate on. So like,
Okay, so interesting. So you're saying enterprise clients are coming to you requesting 50 to 100,000 VMs or agents. And what kind of deal size is that? Like when someone clicks here, contact sales, and they're like, Spencer, do I have 100,000? Am I doing this a million? Because like 50 to 50,000 employees, that's the size of a large bank or the size of Tesla and how many employees they have there.
yeah, yeah, maybe I won't say exactly like how it's very nuanced per like what the company is doing, what scale they need, like what sort of machines. Like our kind of I can tell you in general like what am I thinking about in the near term, like what do I need to do as a company. And like one of the things is ra- um, raising the next round of funding in early spring is like one of the things I'm doing, and getting our first 1 to 3 customers, like kind of talk to a lot of people, like gonna see run pilots and get our first 1 to 3 customers, and I think that would kind of provide the like
The Spark.
low to mid like
Yeah.
6-figure revenue. So I think that's the kind of like low to medium like 6-figure deals is like what I'm like for
Right.
the first customers.
So you would say an enterprise client, and how many VMs would that be for?
Um,
So let's say mid six
yeah, yeah.
figure. We're talking like 500K deal
So
per
yeah,
per year, like ARR, right? Annual
right.
recurring revenue. Okay.
Yeah.
And how many VMs would they use for that rate?
So yeah,
Hypothetically, hypothetically.
yeah. As a hypo, like the economics that I'm think that is here is like to give a simple example of a, let's say, 500,000 LTV, like lifetime value for a customer, at spinning up 500,000 virtual machines per month, and that virtual machine might run for like 10 to 30 minutes or something, like kind of like a shorter time spell. Um, and yeah, that's kind of, I guess, the basic like. So you can imagine like I don't know, 100 to 150,000 per year, I guess, if you want like
Yeah, yeah.
like that's like
Um,
the kind of like frame of reference we're thinking of.
Got it. No, I think this is so new that like I think people are curious to like what these deals look like. As a former enterprise sales executive, I got a lot of success trying to sell in very innovative things on innovation budgets. Do you
Yeah,
find companies have like budget set aside for innovative kind of experiments like this? Like, are those the types of budgets you're going after, or are you like calling on the IT CTO and being like, "Hey, I can replace your whole like call center team"?
yeah. The people that I'm talking to are like CEOs of Series A to Series B companies. So
Okay.
not exactly a large enterprise. So with how this is positioned right now, you can imagine like any kind of an enterprise sales thing. For enterprises, this is like this would be an R&D budget.
Right.
But for a startup, this is like core infrastructure. So it's very different frame of mind.
Yep.
So in an enterprise sense, there's like a fixed R&D budget, but we're instead going for like fast moving Series A to Series B startups, where if you can imagine like their primary product is a computer use agent. So it's not R&D is their core business.
Got it. Okay. Last question, just to kind of summarize this whole thing. So
Yeah.
by spring, you're going to be doing what is it, a series A, or what would you call the next round? How would you
Seed maybe. Like I think it's
seed?
all kind of
Okay.
arbitrary, but
Yeah. All right. Doesn't matter.
yeah,
Seed-ish. You'll want to then have 3 clients, let's say 1 to 3 clients. Kind of startup-y, but companies with, I don't know, what are we talking about? Like 10 to 100 employees kind of area,
um,
roughly.
yeah, 20, 25, like in your
Yeah.
average
Okay.
Series A, yeah, somewhere around there.
2025. All right, so that's for the spring. That's pretty exciting. Okay, I'd love to like just show the product off. And I guess guys, like why I'm asking all these questions is because the meta theme here, and if I don't think Spencer's watched or read AI 2027. I bring it up every time. Have you, Spencer? Have you?
I did check it out. Yeah,
Okay, you did check it out. But the meta theme there is just that obviously human labor, knowledge workers, the accountant, marketing executives, all these kind of people in these on computer work from home type tasks may, I don't want to say be replaced, but augmented, let's say, by computer use agents. And the thesis here is that you could scale a company to the size of maybe 10. Come on, lagging. Also, gotta Just this. Sorry, guys. My kids play with my microphone. All right. I don't know what's happening with my screen share there. It's always when I load some charts, sometimes it lags. Just give it a second. 10,000 employees, but you maybe have 100 employees or 10 employees. And what that unlocks is massive efficiency gain and potential. Morning, Ave. Potential productivity gains, right? So you might see multi-billion-dollar market cap companies that have like 5 to 10 employees, right? So yeah, that's kind of like my thesis. I think that's worth a lot to the economy. So thesis hasn't changed. Can we do some product demo? And I don't know if you had anything to add to that there, Spencer, or not.
Yeah, I mean, I think in general, I'm kind of curious to see like how the future plays out in a sense. Like we already have these sort of like $5 to $10 billion companies that are 20 or less employees, and I think this is like only going to be more, I guess, compressed or like go down. Like I think in general with computer use agents, like I think there's just going to be like very common $10 billion plus companies with like 10 or less employees, which is like very, I don't know. It's very interesting to me. And I think in general, like this next year, like 2026, I think it's gonna like by the end of the year, I think it's gonna be to incredible kind of reliability and sort of degree, and I think like how like enterprises like continue to work is gonna like shift quite a bit. I think it's gonna be quite interesting.
Guys, go watch AI 2027. Go search it on YouTube. I bring it up every time because it's like the blueprint. Dex Hunter says, "Give us the hype bull case for Orgo billions." I don't know. I don't even think Spencer is going to say, but it's exciting future. Let's just say that. I think you have two things: the scalability of Orgo, all the functionality, but then you have each individual agent. Their SOTA scores are getting higher and higher and higher. And once they cross average human intelligence, and you start getting into superhuman intelligence, and I think you're just like, it's pretty much there. Z Fellows, we talked about earlier in the show. Go watch the earlier parts with Spencer. Rambo, maybe more of a narrative thing, but AWS for computer use agents, does that seem accurate to you?
Yeah, I think along those kind of general lines, I think that sounds interesting to me. With the way that we're kind of going, or like how the product will look, feel, and sort of like who it's for. Maybe, yeah, I guess maybe one of the
Sorry.
oh, something's playing.
Yeah, sorry. I was pulling this up next, but yeah, go ahead.
I think I guess you could say an AWS for agents. I think a lot of where I pull inspiration for is, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar, but it's called Vercel.
Vercel, yeah.
Yeah, okay, you know Vercel. I guess
Come
if
on,
you
man. I know Vercel. I've used a few Vercel apps in my
okay,
day.
cool, yeah. I would say it's a bit more aligned if you were to like draw a parallel to like Vercel, like a
Yeah.
Vercel for agents, but like it's, I guess it's small nuances. So I guess you would say the only reason I say that is like AWS is this kind of general cloud. We're like really kind of hyper focusing on like optimizing how do you get computer use agents into production as fast as possible and as easily as possible. So like that's kind of our focus. But yeah, I guess you could say AWS for agents as well.
Spencer, have you seen this video?
What is this?
So this is a engineer that apparently delivered a $6,000 client request
Oh, true. Yeah.
using Gemini and Orgo.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you've seen
Yeah.
this yet.
Okay. No, I know Nick. So we have, as one of the starting points, we have sort of like agencies like starting to use Orgo as well. He's like posted some stuff on Twitter about it, and we're kind of on calls as well. Like I've gotten a lot of feedback from him and other people as well. So yeah, I mean he has a few customers. It's like that 6,000 is kind of one of them. But yeah, he has like a large customer pipeline right now.
All right. So I don't have time to sit on here, I think, live to watch all this. You guys can go watch this, but
Yeah.
can you just walk us through? So you're saying he has tens of thousands of dollars worth of client pipeline that he's delivering using Orgo today?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Guys, come on. This is all right. And what's he okay? Can you explain a little bit what's happening on the screen here? I don't know if there's key moments of this video that are Orgo moments. Okay, so there's this here. Hi, what would you like to automate? Let's see if he types something in here.
Yeah, I should. I haven't watched this specific video, but I know. I think I know what he's working on here, like what this project was. but ultimately, yeah, his kind of what he was doing here is like I guess I can kind of explain in this case of so this client I think is the one, yeah, that's the shirts, yeah. So so he had this client where they developed like apparel for like their customer like develops apparel for like companies and SF, and they're actually like kind of like fast moving startups is like their customers. So you can imagine like, let's say you're Cursor or Perplexity, and you want to like you want a ton of t-shirts, like you would go to this company. So they actually like tailor towards these like sort of like super tech
Oh yeah,
startups.
yeah, okay, yeah.
So if you're like at Cursor or
All your
Perplexity,
AI engineers come in looking the same.
yeah, that's what their company does.
Yeah.
And the founder of that company, she had like this very manual, like order fulfillment process where like she would kind of have these like 5 different portals where she would log in and see the order, see the sizes, and then like enter it into a different form. And it's just like this very kind of like manual process. So like, something she does like 4 times a day that she spends, a lot of time. So he's building computers agents that can actually just like build these automated pipelines to like grab customer orders, place into another form, like hit submit, like process all these, like process the transactions. So like kind of removing a lot of like the manual process she has like through her like normal order fulfillment.
Wow. And so then he got paid, 6 grand or
Yeah, yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
He said, I think he said 6 grand in it. Okay, really cool. I don't know. Last time you had mentioned Orgo V2, and a couple of interesting features. One was like a Dropbox like feature where the agents put finished work in and then the humans can kind of pick it up. And then you talked about end-to-end communication, or the agent to agent communication. I don't know if you want to demo Orgo. I mean, I tried using it last time, of course, and I've used it every time on stream and always was able to do something with it. But I don't know if you want to maybe demo and show a few things if you're able
Um,
to.
yeah, I mean, sure, I can show some stuff here. Yeah. So yeah, I can show you like just a basic example of like what I was talking about with that Dropbox thing to show you
Please, yeah.
what this looks like, because we built it out.
If you
And
can
I
share your screen, I'll toggle you on. Yeah.
Yeah, 1 second, let me.
This is
I
a
mean, I
really
could demo
cool
it, but I don't think I'd do
feature
it justice. I think I tried to
of
get it to look up
Orgo.
like,
Is this Dropbox thing that Spencer's showing here. And essentially what it is that the agents are doing work and then they consolidate that work in a Dropbox thing and then like Slack it back to you. Really cool.
And yeah, I think this file thing it gives you kind of a good idea of. I can show you what we're building towards with that.
yes, please.
Um, yeah, with nowadays, like a lot of the features that we're building for like a kind of more for like tailing it for customers and that sort of thing, like what gets into like the self-serve developer portal, like there's a bit of delay right now. We're gonna speed that up, but that's this kind of Dropbox. We kind of built a first version and we got it in here. It's pretty cool.
Of course, you don't use dual screen, do you? Do you use dual screen?
With
2 monitors? Do you have
Oh, no,
two?
no, no.
No.
Well, I have 2 computers actually. I have this Mac, and then I also have a Windows desktop computer. It's your cloud, and then you can have this thing control the computer and then kind of complete automation tasks. So one of the simple things we built out with just the file feature, I can show you quickly here. It's a very yeah, I was showing someone else this yesterday as well. So you can just like drop in a file here. For example, like I just have this Sequoia .jpg here, just like a picture. I think it's just like the Mac wallpaper. And then you can drop it into one of these. So when you upload these files, it like automatically syncs across all of these machines. So you see like this file got added here that wasn't here before. So that's just a simple way of like you can because these virtual machines are isolated. So you can like easily like get data in and out, and then you can just like ask the agent, can you open up Sequoia desktop? The reason is like you can imagine if you want to like spin up 100 agents, you could all give them a PDF of data, and then you get synced across 100 of your desktops, and then they can use that context within their automation process. So it's kind of a two-way thing. So you can put data into the machine, or you could say like you could tell your agents like, oh, complete this task, like collect this data for me, and then I want to be able to download a spreadsheet afterwards of the data. So you could have the agents do some data entry across the 100 instances, across the 100 desktops, and then download it at the end.
And so in the demo you showed on the Believe thing, man, you're quick to end the demos. I love seeing it on the screen. Yeah, throw it back up. But I think on the Believe video, they showed you, you told the agent, you had 4 agents. They were doing 4 different tasks. And then you said, tell me in Slack when you're done.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have the ability to demo that, if that's possible, but I thought that was like really, really cool.
Yeah. Oh, I don't like have that ready right now.
Okay.
Like,
No worries. No, you got to know when MCG calls, there's going to be, we love seeing demos here, Spencer.
Okay. Okay, I'll quickly use up a cool demo, I guess, for the next time.
All right, next
okay.
time we'll do that. Maybe I'll just show people real quick on your profile of what
Yeah.
you mentioned, because I think it's Slack is obviously part of core like workflow, and so I think people. I'll just turn your voice down here.
Orgo provides computers.
Oh, I guess maybe I released this video since desktop, right?
So we have a crew here. So go ahead and run this, and it's going to start our agents.
Oh, I'm wearing the same shirt, by the way.
On these computers that they begin.
Hopefully you've watched it since.
Given your task, complete the steps that they need to get it done. So we can start to see these agents wrap up the tasks and post in Slack that they have completed it. So this is just a simple example.
So powerful.
So yeah, same shirt, but that's okay. So you have 4 different types of tasks. So let's just talk through these. You have one filling out a form on a website here. So clearly agent's able to click in, go to the browser, fill out this form. Is it able to grab documents that is needed elsewhere to append them to an application?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this one, in this case, this filling out a form, this is actually just a simple filling out a 5-page job application. So this this involved like navigating through 5 pages, and then also part of that, which is like why you need a desktop, is they uploaded their resume as well. So like I had an example of like drag and dropping a PDF resume into the form, and then filling out like 5 pages of questions of like, your kind of who you are, your address, all basic like job application questions.
Oh my goodness, as a salesperson, I'm like, I love this kind of stuff because it could just go out and get me leads and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Very cool. Obviously, playing chess. I mean, I don't know if there's anything there that's super exciting.
Right. Well, I think in general, I think to me the chess one is quite interesting because this is a case where like Claude is like 0-shotting chess essentially. So this is like this is like prompting Claude to play chess. So you can imagine like in one kind of prompt, it's like reasoning through playing an entire chess game, and not only is it like skilled at navigating the interface, it's actually like good at chess. When I was kind of testing this, it seems like Claude's chess abilities are kind of, I guess, to an average player, which is kind of funny. Like it was kind of being around the like 1600 elo, acting like a 600 elo.
What's your elo?
I haven't played a lot of chess recently, but around 1900 to 2000.
That's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah. Maybe we
Spencer would beat Claude at chess. Yeah. I'm wondering if Spencer is an AI. No, I'm kidding.
To be fair, I mean, like, I think was the.
All right, guys, I'll pause it there. Go watch the full interview if you want on MCG_live on YouTube, where we have it. That was recorded at near the end of November, 3rd week of November, I think. And it was pre kind of our understanding of exactly what Orgo would do in terms of, what kind of ownership token model they were taking. I think from that interview, the most important thing that I wanted to get out of that was Spencer, because at the time Believe had imploded and there was a lot of questions around, what was going to happen next. And I think the most important thing I wanted to understand was kind of where his head was at, where he saw the vision of Orgo going forward in terms of the token holders who helped bootstrap Orgo in the early days to get ownership in the actual product. And we saw here it was confirmed a little more, just removing a little more uncertainty, as there was kind of his article at the end of 2025, which was well written on the overall vision of Orgo, but at the end he talked and just kind of was a little unsure still at what the right model was for Orgo, but this kind of more confirmed it. Morning, Ave, King's Mentality, what's up? ICM update. Yeah, I'll do an ICM update. We'll check in. Orgo season. Yeah, I think so. I think people are looking around at what builders are still there, and just kind of who's leading on chain, what are the new narratives, who's doing ownership. So I was trying to use Moby Screener, but Moby was really lagging my computer, unfortunately, today. So we've had X down today. We're just kind of grinding here, making it happen. So many things are just not working out too well. But anyways, nonetheless, we're going to still stream. Orgo's done great. This has popped out of kind of what was a pretty long consolidation grind lower that was coming from around the 6th or 7th, 8th of November when Orgo announced that they were migrating away from Believe. And yeah, then we're seeing a nice pop. I think there's still a lot of room here, and we don't know what the ownership model is. Is it 10% equity anchor? Is it 20%? Is it going to be kind of a mix of the two? No clue. And same with Kled. These are being figured out. But I think the narrative here is if Kled does well, Orgo is a similar high quality version, maybe a little earlier in its development in terms that Kled seems to be much further along, but Orgo is definitely a top pick for a number of reasons. We did see this video. I think I saw that Nick had hired, Spencer had hired this gentleman, Nick, and I haven't watched this yet. So why don't we watch this together and try and see if there's anything here we can talk about.
Okay, we gave Claude a computer and we told it that it could install whatever tools it wants. It has access to its own computer. It can control the mouse. It can go to the browser. It has all of my files in an Obsidian vault. It's literally a second brain, and it can see everything, passwords, everything, credit cards, everything. And I told it to just go through my to-do list for the day. I didn't finish my to-do list, and just be ruthless about executing on the tasks and get everything done. And what you can't get done, get as far as you can, and install whatever you need, and like just keep running for hours. And it's like looping with the Ralph Wiggum plugin, so it's like not going to stop until it's done. And right now, the first thing it chooses to do is install the Agent SDK into itself. Claude Code is installing the Agent SDK into itself on my Orgo, and it has computer use. It's using Orgo computer use on top of like Claude Code. So it has hands, computer use. It has a brain, which is Obsidian. It has all the notes and files and knows everything about my life. And then it has a left hand, which is computer use, and then a right hand, which is Claude Code. And then it has a body, which is the Orgo machine. And it's just crazy. Like it doesn't, like you look at it, is reading through this. It's doing things under the hood with Claude Code. I mean, I'm going to look at my Obsidian vault, and it's just going to be, it's just going to automatically get all my tasks done. Hopefully we'll tune back in.
All right, Nick, if Orgo got all your tasks done, please let us know. I'm actually going to comment at here at Nick. Let's see. I did.
Okay, we gave Claude.
We'll pause that at Nick. And if you get this notification, Nick, and you wake up on the West Coast and you want to tell us about how this worked out, we would love to have you on. Oh my goodness, why is this not picking up? Did your tasks get completed? Now for next couple of hours. All right, I'll see if I can get Nick on. I would love to know kind of what Nick's working on. If Nick can just put out Orgo videos, I think that would be awesome. All right. Drop in for 15 minutes. All right, I'll CC Orgo. All right. There we go. We talked. All right, so that's Orgo. I think the chart looks pretty good. I think someone was asking, why is it down today? Because someone clipped out of it, but bouncing really nice. That dump is getting eaten up pretty good here. Let's see if I can find some of those sales here. I think there were $5,000 clips. Yeah, right here. So we saw these sales. from this wallet address. So this one is the one that clipped out. If I go search Orgo in this wallet address and I go Orgo and I filter it, I can see that they put 10 million Orgo into the wallet this morning, 2 hours ago. I go see what wallet they put that in from. It came from this wallet that has 18 million CLED, has 10 million virus, 21 million Sana, 8 million Believe, 30 million Fitcoin, and then Avo and some other ones. Interesting. JTVO, past night. This is like all Believe Eco kind of stuff. So I don't know if this is a VC, but obviously if you have a $1 million+ in tokens in your wallet, you definitely are someone, definitely a whale. So let's see. They moved USDC this wallet. Man, just moving around $250,000 in USDC. And they have, another wallet with $1.8 million in it, where they moved USDC to. And let's see if they're buying something else. Oh, okay. Privacy cash. So it seems like they're moving something into something private, I guess, for what it's worth. Okay. Very interesting. So that was someone who clipped out. I think that's you got to distribute some of those tokens to stronger hands and longer term holders. That user had acquired them back, I believe, when Orgo had launched. They were actually up significantly on the position. So take that for what it is worth. All right, changing topics here. We have America.fun. We were supposed to join the show yesterday, and we were going to live stream Domini, us trading on the platform. Unfortunately, I think they were still getting some things sorted out in their launch, so no worries. We know launch pads are hot right now. We see Bags Eco popping off, which I'll cover in a second. But let's go ahead and watch this little video.
Happy launch day, America.fun.
That America is the greatest place on earth.
Everyone, anywhere across the world, access opportunity.
Hi, I'm Nick the Cowboy.
My name is Sup America.
Hi, my name is William Pang.
My name is Anthony Scaramucci,
and this is America.fun.
And this is America.fun.
America.fun.
This is America.fun.
Thank you for putting the fun in America.
Happy launch day, American.fun. Happy launch day, American.fun. Happy launch.
Okay, V2 is now live. All right. So what does V2 entail? America.fun, V2 is now live. Permissionless launches are officially open. Anyone can now launch a CA that ends with in USA. Absolutely love that. I think that's really cool. The branding's really cool. Also saw Moby, shout out Moby. They had the USA logo beside any America.fun launches. So that's kind of cool. I think the branding is great. What's new in V2? Permissionless launches. So this is a big one. Before, if you wanted to deploy an America.fun, it opened a Google form fill. So obviously we know that's no good for the velocity of projects getting out there. No ticker vamping. I really like this because we see bots on Pump Fun will see a narrative or just mass deploy into a narrative. They'll farm, 100 of those launches, and then the one launch will get through and become the actual one. We've all fallen prey to this. I've fallen prey to this long before I knew what was happening with vamping here. So we like to see that. More Patriot points. So we'll have to dig into what that is. Staking and daily rewards. So on staking, they mentioned that if you stake AOL, they'll have a VE model where stakers are getting a significant chunk. I wanted to say 80%. I couldn't remember from our stream. Let me see if I can actually find on MCG Live what the percentage was. Let's see if I go to MCG. So this is, I'll show you guys how to do DD real quick. So if you ever want to know anything about an ICM ticker, just go to MCG Live here and go search, and you can search by AOL. And so if it says from MCG Live and then you search AOL, it'll search anything that we've tagged as AOL. And typically what we do is tag stream notes. You'll see all our clips, link to the full segment on YouTube. And then right here, we have some notes. So we talk, so this was a segment with Crypto Ogle at 126, built Merit Fund, hub on USD1, V2 approaching sooner than you think, single digit days. It was a little bit longer. This is the key thing. Made 750K in LP fees. I think that's super significant. Okay, have put 90% back into the ecosystem tokens. Well, there you go. So a significant portion of it is going back into the ecosystem tokens. I don't know if this is going to continue at 90% or not, but that is a significant amount of the tokens. I really like this mechanism. $200 of AOL to execute a new launch. So this creates two dynamics. One, buy pressure on the AOL token, which I think is great. I believe that's also revenue share back to AOL stakers. And then the third thing is it kind of weeds out people are not serious. I think what leads to a lot of scams on Pump Fund is that there's just no friction for deployers, and spam bots and machines can essentially just spin up as many tokens as they want and then just kind of farm people essentially. So good mechanism. Dream is a token from an artist from Adult Swim. All right, so let's get into the platform here because it is linked. And I'm trying to get America.Fund folks onto MCG today. I'll read this really quick. America.Fund is the first and only launchpad built entirely around USD1, which this is by World Liberty Fi. This is Trump's family is involved here heavily, I believe, on Solana, and shout out Meteora, of course. So let's see, go to the website. Now this may lag my computer, guys, because it did earlier when I looked at this. So let's see if it lags. And we are loading, and there we are. We have loaded. Okay. So we have a couple launches that were around from before, which are these Valor, Burger, Patriot. Let's see what we got here. So here's your swap widget. Okay, staking. Okay. Oh wow. Okay, so USD1 rewards. So it's paid out in USD1, which is kind of awesome. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. I don't see here where. So you have an ecosystem vault. Okay. Really. Oh, you can stake ecosystem tokens. That's super smart. So no tokens are staked yet, it seems. I think that ecosystem vault staking is super smart. Okay, here we go. We are into the we are into it here. I'm seeing some deploys that have happened. So if I go back, what was the token that they mentioned? Dream. Okay, let's see if we can find Dream on here. There's just so much. All right, search Dream. Guys, I'm kind of using this for the first time here to understand. So Dream Job. Okay, so this was launched 1 month ago, graduated, 200K market cap. I don't know if this is the Adult Swim artist, dude. I can only get 15-minute candles on there. Let's see. All right, so 200K market cap, 1% trading fee, token address. So here you go. This is where you can paste it into actual screeners. 1 billion supply, as always. Let's see if I can find any other information. Let's see if I can punch this in here. Oh yeah, this seems to be the right token. Again, I wish I could open this on Mobi, but my computer, Mobi was lagging my computer, so apologies there, guys. All right, this is interesting. Let's go to Twitter. So chart, obviously, a lot of hype, day one launch, kind of a 900K topper there. I mean, there's not really a whole lot of point in doing any sort of TA on this. Oh, CPT news. I need to go see what's going on in there too. So a little bit of a range here. And okay. So try new life, powered by America.fund. All right, looks interesting. What is Dream? I don't think I have a whole lot of information of what this is. Like, is this just some sort of meme coin, or is this an IP that's kind of getting started? So either way, I think some kind of further information is still needed here. All right, wow, chart is candling. So I'm gonna hop over to that right now. So, anyways, I'm trying to get people on from America.fund later today. But with that, we must go check out CPT. All right. Okay. I mean, we are candling a little bit, I would say. We're still kind of in this range, if you will, from 13 cents to 40 cents. I definitely would love to see this test this upper top part of the range, and which will probably reject out of there and consolidate, and then maybe go a bit higher. If we just spike out of there, I'd be a little surprised in this market. Good news, bad news, all news gets sold off, but hopefully we're transitioning a little. All right, so let's see what the news is here. Pinned to the top, we are pleased to announce we signed our global strategic partnership with Powercast Co., leaders in RF wireless power transfer. They will supply the critical components for Impulsor products, and we will also co-develop intellectual property and innovative products together. We'll be expanding operations and sales to Europe, Asia, Middle East, Africa. All right, really cool. Formal announcement. So we did a little bit of DD on this entity yesterday and this week. They have been in business for a very long time. They've been doing similar, I guess, wireless power transfer technologies. I think consensus is, and their vision too, is that obviously in the future, we will not have wires. There will be no wires. Wires will be obsolete one day. And there's three core technologies that Impulsor uses: magnetic resonance, which is electromagnetic fields kind of resonating. There's radio frequencies, which are radio wave base for probably really low energy, like Bluetooth low energy devices. And then you have optical, which is using lasers, or Roman on the last call even mentioned extremely high powered LED lights. So those are how energy is transferred. I am just going to send the StreamYard to Patrick, and if he wants to hop on. Drop. Or we can. All right. So yeah, I'll see if Patrick wants to hop by, but yeah, I think we kind of knew something was going to be shared here imminently. Obviously, this is the core announcement. how I read this, guys, is look, these are real companies. So this company is in Pittsburgh, US manufacturing. Let's actually go to their website real quick. This is a real business. They build all sorts of different products, right? And, again, they're just integrating and partnering and setting up the IP. I think where Impulsor really much was created IP in the academic and industrial world and in universities. They have done a lot of patenting work, and now they're bringing that to the manufacturing and commercialization process, and that's kind of where we get to begin the process with them as token holders and ownership token holders, I'll say. Very, very cool. I don't see any additional context here, but chart definitely is candling as always. So let's see, did Patrick, so if I go to Patrick, let's see, Patrick Sang, let's just see on his X. So yeah, I mean, Jan 13th, we knew something was going on. Yeah, okay, some more information next week. Well, we'll find out on Monday. But until then, it's nice green candles. And yes, would love to see this. It looks like we got a pretty big washout here. Again, these are, small cap tokens. And on Soar's platform, if I go to Soar's CPT, so if you want to do due diligence, here it is on Soar, and you can find all the artifacts here at the bottom. And these are all kind of like the documents and disclosures for CPT. So just in case anyone was wondering what platform this was launched on. So I'm just going to screenshot out because I think this is great. Yeah, thanks, King's Mentality. Thanks for flagging that, because again, hard for me to see all the information on when I'm live streaming. Can only see so much. If you guys want me to look at charts, specific charts, please let me know. Nice news here from CPT on plus 40%. Yes, we like that. Disclosure, MCG participated on the first day, and also it's one of our larger positions between Dom, Chill, and I. So there is our disclosure. All right, that's CPT. If there's any other specific projects you want to see, please let me know. With that, I'm going to go to Bags app. So I've looked at Bags projects, and I will confess I've been a little bit skeptical of Bags in the past, just from the standpoint of like the deployers there just seem a little less kind of serious. And yesterday we talked about one lady that had deployed Peak, who had kind of like taken the money and just kind of, that was it. And we kind of had some feedback on Bags that there should be some sort of, look, if you're going to take the funds, that there's some sort of, I don't know, tie into the token in some way. And nonetheless, these tokens are candling today. So let me show you guys what I'm talking about. Terra. At Terraformation, we restore degraded land into thriving forests to capture carbon and combat climate change. Half globe for blah, blah. All right. So this is some sort of environmental token play. This thing is just ripping. Oh my goodness. Here, let's have a look at this. Again, always go and copy the CA. So look at this. This launched on Bags this morning at 3 a.m. and has absolutely torn to 3 million. This is the kind of what we like to see on chain. How I know on chain is heating up is you're going to start to see deploys from these different platforms get traction. So this is really bullish for on chain. Let's go see what this project does. Let's get some more context here. All right. Yishen Wang, CEO and founder. All right. Let's see. How many followers does he have? Let's go check his profile. Okay. 100,000 followers. All right. All right. Some geopolitical stuff there. Okay. Hey, I'll just sign and claim the funds. Wanted to at least give a quick update. Got to go to sleep for now, but okay. So tomorrow updates coming. Because a bunch of strangers on the internet came together to give us money to plant trees. Well, there you go. Thank you all for this quite wonderful surprise, and we'll also be sharing updates. Look, I think this is good stuff because it consolidates capital for things like, let's say, tree planting. We could argue that that's largely a benefit to the planet and society. I will say, do I think the token is valuable from that standpoint? I don't know. Like, is there real value? Not really sure. That remains to kind of be seen. So I don't know. Take it for what it's worth. My take on these is I personally would not touch these bag app tokens personally until I see something that's actually kind of interesting. GM Top Fumbler. All right, I'm going to show Top Fumbler. I got you. Because Top Fumbler, credit to him, sent me. Let's see if I can see it in the top here because it might be trending. Top Fumbler sent me. Is it not in here? All right, we'll go to we'll go to Bags app. I did see it on here. So Top Fumbler sent me Slopcraft at 100K market cap. And, guys, it's so hard. We had 5,000 people on our stream that day. So it was so hard for me to pull open Slopcraft at 100K market cap while everyone was on stream just because it's so PvP. Like, people front run these tokens when we announce that we're covering something and then they sell it. And it's just, we don't like covering that low of a token. Nonetheless, let's go check out how this is performed, and then I will show who is behind it. And I gotta say, Top Fumbler, you made a great call. I hope you made some money on this. So here's where Top Fumbler called it. I believe Jan 15th, literally like the day before this started candling. While we were on stream, which would have been around 3 p.m. Eastern. So, yeah. So somewhere in here, Top Fumbler called this, and man, look at this thing. This thing is just absolutely ripped. And if I go to our DMs, and let me pull open again, feel free, guys, to DM MCG. Yeah, great call, Fumbler, honestly. Here's the dude that is behind it.
Doing all the cultural enrichment. And
this dude right here.
A lot of torture for myself. Who knows me from Twitter? All right, that's more than I thought. Who is using
a vibe colder?
One person in the back, usually the janitor, doesn't even listen to what I'm saying. One of the things that
the browser for developers.
So I'm working on a billion things at once. This is one of the things. It's a say they're fine for now. I don't know when will that for now end. These are always funny to us because we're chuckling nervously. The sad thing is this was a slide from 2017 and I wanted to update it for my current presentation. Now, don't shoot the messenger. I just wanted to update the slide and this is their current about page. And this, like, oopsie daisy, there goes your production data. So I have doctor, senior principal, prompt engineer, kids here for some vibe engineering tips. The obvious advice, probably, I haven't listened to the rest of the talks because I just arrived. These are very live, laugh, love, like obvious bullshit advice. But it actually works. I've heard of the term Git workspaces like literally 2 weeks ago. I had no idea what is this, but it's
Yeah, Eve, I'll
I'll
cover that as well.
Chronically on Twitter for all of this to work. So if you don't have a Twitter account, it's not going to work. Cool. So some of my prompts, like sometimes.
All right. You know, I don't know where this event is. I would actually love to know if anyone can search where this talk happened, AI Engineer Code Summit. I wonder if they say here where the event was hosted and where he's from. Yeah, it doesn't. I don't see anything here. But I mean, this video has, you know, 74,000 views. This is his X handle. And again, this was chilling at 100K. Kit's got the charisma to become a main character, in my opinion. Yeah, absolutely. Was in NYC. Okay. Makes sense. Bunch of different stuff that he's worked on. Clearly early on in the vibe code segment. I guess he's just, you know, he's just pumping out projects here. I mean, remember the days that Meta had
in an office right now? They look like they're in severance, and they'll be teamable. So why not The Office or Friends or whatever is your favorite sitcom? Eventually, I'm sticking with this theme inside, but they'll be teamable. So we have not working, you're sleeping, unchecked is gonna wait for your attention, and working is gonna be like, well, he should put his hands down. Put your hands down, agent. That's a spoiler for some feature that's coming soon. So yeah, we have the whiteboard over here. We have the like customer requests, and if the customer requests are not here, you will see this text with the iconic balloons. And I think I love this. I just love how this looks like. Yeah, I think that's it for today. Tomorrow, I'm finally gonna.
AI Engineer Code Summit. This conference is on practical application of AI software development held in New York City from November 19th to 22nd. A premier event curated of top AI engineers. Yeah, I mean, this is where we're getting past the like AI as like you have to be a doctorate to understand what's going on. The vibe coding is where you get down to the average people like myself. And obviously this guy who built this. So let's see. Suddenly and everyone and their money cares about this, which means I'm on the right track with slopcraft.ai. Let's check out Slopcraft. So I did check this out, Top Fumbler. Again, you called this. What happens when I click around? Okay. There's a community. I think what I have a hard time getting my head around, and this is like kind of more kind of adjusting thesis is like, is this stuff actually valuable? Like, will this stuff be here in 6 months, or are we just trading it? And I think narrative is here now. This is more of a trading vehicle today. And you want to keep an eye on this as people start to do due diligence. But I love the call. Obviously at 100K, this ran to 2.4 million, is sold off. I don't know if Bags has staying power, but what I will look for is the rotation. So, now Bags is hot, but does AOL get hot? And if AOL gets hot, would potentially SOAR get hot, or back to MetaDAO? So those are kind of the rotations I'd like to see within the Meteor ecosystem, because Met itself is doing really well. So yes, that's Slopcraft. Dom, shout out my second half on the show. On chain is popping off. We're so back, baby. Go study all these tokens. All are popping off. Make sure you research and understand these in order to get a full picture of the meta. And we are currently in. Not saying these are bids, but you must understand them if you intend to make money during this. This is the key thing, right? And that's what we're doing. That's what we do on MCG is we understand these narratives. and this is the vibe code Claude meta. Why we're talking about this today is because, like I covered on Orgo many times, is the entities and agents themselves are becoming more and more powerful, and they are. Have you had any Claude meta projects on MCG? Don't think yet. Which ones should? All right, I'm going to screenshot this. All right, I'm going to tag. Olive, well, come on, X. Like, make this easy for me. My goodness. And of course, I mean, X has just been like down today, by the way, guys. And that's why there's going to be low viewership on this, because it didn't notification or the broadcast window didn't even get tweeted out for this. I was like, what the heck? X, bro. Yeah, not financial advice. Don't put your money in vibe code, dog shite. Bet in what you like. I was in Ralph sub 1, sold because I didn't like the dev, so I betted on this one because of the dev. Yeah, I mean, I think these are just kind of shots that were shots on that. Let's call it shots on that. All right, Ralph, is there other ones? Like, man, this 1300%. My goodness, like, look at the volume, 24-hour volume, 16 mil, 3.5 million market cap. Let's see what else is in here. Claude Memory. I saw this one tweeted out. DeFi or Die had this one. I saw this. I think he sold it. I think he saw it. All right, look. If you want another Bumbler, man, you're gonna get me in trouble here. I don't know if this guy goes back up, but these narratives might be quick to pop up, also quick to disappear. Just keep that in mind. All right, let's see. CMEM. Oh my goodness, CMEM. I know what's going on here. You guys can't trick me. Wow, look at that chart. I mean, yeah, one thing I will rate on these charts that I'm seeing is these are been slow cooks relatively for meme coins. Whereas Pump Fund, you usually see all the PA at the first 10 minutes. These have been cooking, and now the narrative is popping up. To me, this is much more healthy price action and may signal that we have a potential bit of a market speculation change here, which I absolutely love to see. Okay. Let's see. If I go to CMEM's X account. Okay, CMEM is a fair launch creator token. Again, we've not been super bullish on creator tokens. Initiated by our committee on behalf of the project. It was made using Bags app, blah, blah. 1%. Okay, got it. Token address is there. We already checked it out. Okay, who is CMEM? Memory agent observes work in real time, compresses it with AI, and instantly hands it off context to your next session. Okay, interesting. Presses it with AI. Memory agent observes work in real time, compresses it with AI, and instantly hands off to your next session. Oh, interesting. Okay. What does that mean, though? Okay. Give me, if anyone knows. Okay, Bagalytics, fee rate. Oh, I like that. That's cool. Shows per money. That's a cool project. All right, I'm not sure I know exactly what this does, and I'm trying to just do some live DD here. Man, I got to be extremely careful searching this ticker. This ticker is all right. This ticker might get me into trouble here. Okay, stars, guys. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't want to FUD it, but at the same time, oh my gosh, retention. Yeah. All right. This is just random speculative stuff. All right, I'm gonna check my DM real quick here off screen. And yeah, searching that ticker, a little bit dangerous on stream, so we're not gonna go too deep there. I don't really love buying these at, now that these are super hyped. Gas is another one. Let's check out Gas Town. Let's see, does this launch on bags? Yep, launched on bags. Oh my gosh, look at this thing. Holy Christ. I mean, look, that's the typical launch pattern. And then I wonder if there's a bunch of supply control that happened in here. And then boom, wow. Look at that. 30 million. Guys, these are the types of like early pump fund vibes that I'm getting off this. I mean, the idea here is that more high quality deploys come from this. Let's see gas. And once people start seeing these get traction, again, the rotations are just going to potentially start to happen. Okay, gas.town. I mean, man, the generational kind of wealth here that can be created on some of the stuff. Okay. Here we go. Veteran Web 2 developer. Okay, so what I understand here is these are obviously what bags are, is that there's creators that are doing various things in the world, and then these communities create a token, generate some early fees, and then if it gets taken over by the actual creator and adopted, and again, there's no legal obligation for them to do anything here, but then it can pump. All right. So yeah, oh man, there you go. Spill. Yo, what's up, Spill? Spill, I'm just trying to understand, like, what the heck's going on here, by the way. We have Claude narrative right now. We're just working through some of the Bags app stuff. America.fun is launching today. So there's a lot of non-ICM, but tradable stuff coming out. All right, this looks like Gastown is next generation of Claude Code. If you're just getting into that, armies of coding agents, loan control. It's been 12 days since I dropped Gastown. Response has been off the charts. I've been working hard to keep up. Thanks to all the early adopters. I wrote up this survival guide. All right, very cool. Here's Gas, guys. Again, this thing is just absolutely run, and kind of looks like it might continue here. I don't know if this is going to break out here and then kind of fade off into that liquidity. But man, this is just going absolutely freaking nuts. All right, I might have something to look at here. So guys, look, I wouldn't call these complete meme coins. Obviously, these creators that these are being CTO'd are real people that built real things. So there is some potential fundamental value here. So I won't call them pure meme coins, but the second that one of these creators kind of gives up on this thing, it goes to zero. And the lack of having some sort of actual tie-in is, you kind of got to know what you're buying here. I don't know about this meta. I'm myself am waiting for dev to recognize the coin. Ha ha ha. Yeah, I mean, I think that's accurate. So I don't know this chart. I mean, it looks great to trade. I think you could take stabs at it here, but I don't know, guys. Any other like really interesting bags app ones that I should be looking at? Let me know. Okay, I had one sent to me, and I'm gonna check that out. Okay. Oh, this is not a bags fumbler. Let's see. I will check it out off screen. Just yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay, this is all right. This is a little higher market cap. All right, this is 700K market cap, so not bad. Any thesis? Got to send me thesis on this. So here's another Claude one right here. Claude chain. Okay. Can you look into Agent Zero? I think you'll like it. All right, I'll take a look at that. If it's not ownership, I'm not touching it. I think so, Dex. I'm with you on this. Again, this was some of our criticisms of Bags app yesterday, and we know the lady, she took the fees and was kind of like, "Thanks, guys." So I agree with that. However, is it something to trade? I mean, this is what's hot. I think what I'm more encouraged by is that these things are popping off right now, which I think is good to see. Yeah, is this going to be around in a week from now? I doubt it, guys. So, I mean, 300 followers. Like, what are we talking about here? AI built blockchain. Yeah, I mean, this is nothing. I don't know. This is, in my opinion, Fumbler. If you've done well on this, at 700K, I'd be pretty happy with some of my wins there. Okay, let's see. Can you, bro? That's what I'm saying. Like, I want to look at stuff like Orgo, obviously, but we need more. We need more of those and less of some other stuff. But hey, look, things are trading. We got to try and unpack it. Why are these narratives popping off right now? Get Nick from Orgo on his demos cook. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Agent Zero. Can you give me a little context here? Market cap, narrative, and is it bags? Where can I find that? Got to give me a little bit more because on stream, when I'm streaming, it's a little hard to do. Super Agent Zero token. Okay, this looks like it's on base. Let's check out this. I want to say I saw this. So I can't do base tokens on Mobi. Okay. I mean, 40K volume. Again, not a lot of volume. This looks like it's kind of already ran. So keep that in mind. Nice little 3x from the break. Okay, developer AI SAP, Unity, blockchain, many more. Launched a token. Let's see.
Linux terminal, which means it can do literally anything. The 8 use cases I'm about to show you save me hours every single week, both in my business and in my personal life.
Okay. Web3 portal incoming. Interesting. Redesign staking interface and introducing the AOT leaderboard. All right, let's see. Here's a little demo. So it looks like 2 tasks were given here. Okay. I mean, these are development tools. I don't know. This kind of stuff. Look, guys, should this be worth 4 million? I don't know. I think like I'd much rather be looking at Orgo than some of these projects. Cause you got to ask yourself, like, is it just a tool? Like, is there more kind of there than just tool? Again, why we like Orgo is there's just so much you can do with potentially Orgo and the narrative of it becoming, check the website. Okay, let me do that. Okay, let Agent Zero build your own agentic AI system. Experience autonomous agent AI that works on its own computer. Okay. Using creates tools intelligently, learns, self-corrects, and executes complex workflows in complete transparency, helping you build your own agentic AI. Okay, great. But still, like, does value accrue to the token? Or, is this again another tool, stock analysis, development? Like, there's so many tools that do all these things. How many users? I don't see any users. And to be honest with you, I'm not deep in the developer weeds to say, is this a better approach than, what we've already kind of seen out there? Again, if I were to compare it to something like Orgo seems to be the infrastructure that enables this type of work. Own the infrastructure, not the agents. I think this is directionally correct. Yeah, no worries, Spill. Look, I'm happy to check out whatever is in the chat. Already been burned too many times. I won't be tempted by metas anymore. Ownership only, brothers. I agree. I also have been burned so many times. That's why when ICM popped up, I was so excited because here was this new dynamic of, these are real companies, real things. And it wasn't just like a bunch of random deployers and people grifting. And I mean, the grifting happened anyways, unfortunately, but at least with someone like, Patrick Sang, who has a reputation, has the ability to go get a meeting at Galaxy Digital and do certain things. There's some sort of reputation risk for someone like him. And so less of a risk of something, let's say regging. Okay, I got to hop to America.fun. I just got a DM about some updates. Sorry, someone just rolled up, which I might need to get the doorbell if they ring it. But let me pull up AOL. Okay, I already covered this though. So just says that they're live, which again, I've already covered it. Let's go back to the website. All right, things are slightly changing. This bar at the top is now doing something. It's the 14K GitHub stars that I'm interested in with AOT. Look, interesting. That's social proof nonetheless, for sure. There's a lot of developers on GitHub that have that credibility, but is that a legal and contractual agreement to continue working with the token and on the project? It is not. So that's the key difference with ownership tokens, is that there's a enforceable contract that can be brought forward to a court of law. And that's the main difference. So just be aware of that. There's a lot of people that built great things, huge reputations, that said, hey, you got 100 grand of money sitting in front of you, and they'll just take that, right? They need that. They got to pay their bills. Maybe they're greedy. So just keep that in mind. All right, here's the platform. Let's see. I like the platform. Gotta say, the style of it is takes me back to, what is this? Windows XP. If anyone remembers Windows XP, I'm pretty sure this is it. I wish I could get 1 hour candles here. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if that's a me thing, but I would like to see 1 hour candles there. Okay, let's see some of these. Again, not an ownership token, but these are potential narratives we're just trying to understand the narratives here, guys. Yeah, this is a $1 million market cap. Yeah, look at that chart. Brutal. Wow, this was at as high as 12 million. Yeah, this is the typical price action that we usually see. But guys, keep in mind the Bags app eco is pretty much cooked as well, and all of a sudden it started popping off. So all right, so this just got deployed. All right, market cap. Wow, 27K. Jeez, these are, I like the USA ending. Gotta say that. I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, street tokens definitely. I'm bullish. The Cled Orgo barbell for sure. Avi will show market what ownership is. I agree. All right, this is pre-bonded. And guys, I would never normally ever be looking at pre-bonded meme coins. So we're making an exception because we like our friends at Meteora, and we like our friends at AOL, and I want to see if this kind of takes off or not. So it looks like the bonding percentage has got to be around 50 to 60K. So that seems in line with something like Pump. One of the key differences here, and as I mentioned it before, there's a $200 fee to launch a token. And so I do like that friction point, because it eliminates, I think, what was a lot of the fraud on Pump Fund. And by fraud, I mean, and by fraud, I mean like the machines that were deploying all sorts of vamped tokens. All right, Greg Consiglio is an advisor to AOL, but let's look at some of his past experience. Ex Ticketmaster, Beatport, Vigil, and AOL himself. So you can see he worked at AOL, worked at Ticketmaster. He's currently an advisor. So Just Chill built on America.fund live now. America wasn't talked into existence. It was built dream by dream, mile by mile, brick by brick. Built is for the shippers, the grinders, builders with houses, not opinions. Built different, built to last, built here. All right, let's see. All right, here's the X handle. All right, some AI things. Let's see the CA. Let's go check it out. All right. So I will search it on AOL first. So right here is your search bar. Okay. Not seeing a token. So let's see if it's new. Okay. I like this filtering here. Just click to filter, but I don't see clear search. Don't see the token popping up on AOL. Let's see if I can pull it up on Dex. All right, looks like this one did bond. I don't have any USD one. All right, so this bonded 1220, 200K in volume. Yeah. Good timing with Bags app coming along. I don't know what the play is here with Greg. I would love to have Greg on. Hey, Greg, I'm talking about your token here. If you want to come and talk about it, please let me know. All right. I'll see if I can get Greg on. You know, I'd love to see some ICM tokens get launched on something like this. I like the ending, USA. I like the narrative around that USA. But yeah, it definitely needs to play out. All right, I'm trying to invite, but yeah, former Ticketmaster, former AOL himself. So we shall see. I mean, if this like sends, that would be kind of cool. But right now, it's all Bags app that is sending. Any other tickers, guys? Keep the tickers coming. CBT, man, you just Dax, you read my mind. I was literally just toggling to it. Look at that. Nice little pump. Nice little move. Drones. I mean, look, if you're gonna ape into something that's absolutely a meme coin, I'd rather own something that, you know, potentially could change energy transfer in the world. Yeah. CPT send in. That nice candle. Look, 88K volume. Most of these people are pretty, in my opinion, I think CPT holders are diamond handed. They're Patrick Sang fans. I agree. I mean, my thesis kind of, and you guys know, my thesis around this, and I've talked about it to Roman and Patrick is, I think like
not that people don't trust CPT, or obviously I think a lot of this is run off Patrick's reputation, given his investor background. I mean, if a random engineer out there came to market talking about some of the stuff, I don't think the people would necessarily kind of believe it. But because Patrick has a really solid reputation and connections, I think there's some credence there. And it's like, personally, I'd love to see this in action. If they demo a successful drone energy transfer, system in real world environments, even if it not even real world, even if it was in controlled environments as a proof of concept, this would send, let alone something in real world environments, like the private valuations for these type of defense, and I don't want to say defense, but defense drone and these type of companies is definitely in the hundreds of millions of dollars, I would say. So I think you do got to show some revenue, but definitely super promising. Okay, ICM run. Let's do a quick. Yeah, that was requested earlier. All right, Bobby from Dupe. We'll look at it. All right, ICM run, man. ICM run has been a tough one. I, really loved this project. I really love this project. I hold some ICM. It's just been tough to see this kind of just get absolutely, faded off like this. And I would like to see the update. I want to when staking, right? These updates have been coming. If it's not a lack of trust, I think that the trust is out there. Like these guys have a good reputation, but want to see these things kind of come to market. Much faster. So great day for buying good projects at a discount. Don't get stuck holding the bag of these hype tokens. Yeah, Crypto Jones, I think that's like Bags app 101 there is like, are these, $3, $4, $5 million toppers, or are they going to keep going? I would think that these are, $3, $4, $5 million toppers. I don't think the market can sustain the pump fund $3 billion whiff move of early 2020. I don't know if that was 2024, like late 2024 or mid 2024. So, also new Duke tweet. We'll do it. Okay. One of our launch partners has just released the newest product, and here we are here to support. So fees generated, card to trade. Yeah, this was a cool product, actually. So, okay, Black Whale. I think this is more visualizing different trading data points. I think you need users. Was this a GMGN competitor? Okay, I like this. I like this. Let's check this out. And then I'm gonna check. I got a bunch of notifications here, but this is a trading bot. Okay, Telegram trading bot. Again, these things rely on these rely on volume and fees. So back to the ICM chart. Dom and I have had levels marked off, and we actually bought more ICM and ended up taking a pretty heavy loss on it, unfortunately. The Allen thing. So this was the Allen pump right on this candle when Allen announced that he was joining, and there was kind of whispers of Allen joining even earlier. And instantly that pump got sold into instantly. And Yeah, man. Honestly, I don't know, but you know, just like, yeah. Look, I mean, you also had the it launched through DAO's Fund, and so people got large amount of tokens at a pretty, I think it was like 400K market cap or something like that. And then it just ran, and you have all that money and tokens sitting there. And then there was an airdrop. Look, there's 8,000 holders of this. So a bunch of airdrop tokens got sent out. So it might not even have been really farmed. It could have just been like all those airdrop holders just got free money and sold it. I think Mercy said that they airdropped a bunch of tokens to like all the Believe holders. And then, what happened to Believe? What happened to ICM, right? Generally as a narrative. A, ownership tokens came over top of the narrative, and B, Believe completely imploded, right? And the launches that were going to come through Believe, a lot of ICM Run relied on the launches that had come through Believe. So how is that different from a Launchpad? So Launchpad is it's the actual software that a new token is created, right? And then there's fees generated from that trading. There's fees associated with that token creation and setting up the AMM. So Launchpad would use Meteor's DBC technology to issue that token and then get those fees. An incubator is kind of like a collective. So a collective of us as holders. MCG is a media company. ICM Run is, let's say, the quote unquote, those are the mentors. They're business token launch experts. So let's say I'm an AI, wizard in San Francisco. I'm like Spencer, who knew nothing about crypto, or I shouldn't say nothing, but didn't know much about Web3. I come to Web3, I want to issue a token, right? So I can do it by launching on a launchpad. But the big thing is like, how do you know what to do? How do you know what to say? What podcasts do you go on? What live streams do you go on? How do you construct your tokenomics? How do you integrate the token into your product? These are all things that the incubator can do. In exchange, they have a stake in it. And also, the holders, the concept behind ICM Run and the stakers is they have a claim on the tokens within the treasury, right? So ICM is backed by a treasury of assets. And if you go to their website, you can see what all those assets are. They own like something like 500,000 CPT. Well, CPT is trading at, what's CPT trading at? 30 cents. So that's worth, call it like $180,000 or something like that, 200 grand. And then there's other assets. There's like 50,000 Believe tokens or something like that put in there. So it's not ownership. It's a DAO structure for sure. And, but it is backed by a treasury of assets. Now, Mercy put a tweet saying that they were going to, do revenue share, not in the ICM token, but in SOL or dollars collected. And he put out like $1 million a month, which was a huge number at the time. And we got him on to talk about those numbers. And I still don't recall how he generated or got to that math, but I think a lot of the price action was driven off of some of that, math. Now it's okay to put out projections, but I think the article didn't have enough to say maybe how they got to it. So look, the risk reward, I think at some point this will be sold off. This will be very sold off. But you got to keep in mind it's got to climb these levels, right? So from 1.5 million, it's got to get up here to 10 million, to 19 million, 20 million. And there's people that, you got to think there's 8,800 holders that own tokens at those levels potentially have a higher cost basis. And, there's a lot of kind of
soaking up of tokens that needs to happen here and a lot of distribution that needs to be overcome. So, do I think this has the potential to perform? Yes. I think if staking happens and they do share some of the claims that they have made, then yes, this could perform quite well. Obviously, if you start, fee sharing $1 million a month, someone will come in here and buy 10% of this at a $1.5 million market cap and get, 100K a month. And obviously this would be extremely much more well valued. But you know, proof is in the execution, and we haven't quite seen it yet. Let's see what else is there. Guys, keep sending me tokens. Anything that you see is running. Well, it was based off of revenues, right? So how quickly do they go broke? I don't know. I mean, the contributors were, I think, incentivized by owning the ICM token, and I don't know, they may have raised some funding. Not sure. CPT looking great here. Ownership for the win. Let's talk a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, if you guys were on our streams, look at these levels on Avicii. Beautiful breakout. Again, one of the big winners that MCG called a couple weeks ago. Umbra is coming into an interesting area. So here with Umbra, there are some very key catalysts that are coming very soon with this. We're actually quite keen on this. We might add Umbra to our own treasury here. So disclosure there, we do not own any now. Crew is kind of targeted in the next 0 to 4 weeks, let's say, that this first testnet, then mainnet will launch. Let's see if we can get some updates here. All right. All right, V2 docs are now live. Okay. Final audits before mainnet. So more security. Pretty sizable spend there. Private mainnet next week, public mainnet next month. All right, so here you go. This is kind of the timing that we're talking about. 1 week to 30 days. Obviously privacy super hot. The big things that stuck out from our Umbra conversation, and let me see if I can pull it up. So again, here, let's go to MCG Live. So go back, we'll search Umbra to see stream notes. This might have been before we changed our ticker. Let's see. We may have changed our ticker, yeah. So if we change it, so if they were on MCGY, you have to do micro cap gem show, which was our old handle, sorry. Okay, crew, where are you? I'm looking for the show notes. All right, look at this. October 10th, guys. We were highlighting MetaDAO for all these ICOs. All right, here we go. What I like to do also is I like to go back and look at
when founders were on MCG last, and then kind of reflect, like, are they executing on the things that they said they would deliver? So I love this narrative. Umbra is incognito mode for your finance. I think that's a great narrative on Solana. Building an anonymous layer, acts. Oh. Okay, how does Umbra work? Building the Umbra wallet and SDK for developers to integrate. This SDK, this is the key. If they can get this, and they might already have partnerships lined up. There was rumors that Or was gonna, they were looking at it. Again, if that gets implemented, I mean, this starts to go kind of crazy, in my opinion. Yeah, SDK will be available in a couple of weeks. I mean, I don't know if that's been delivered. Keep in mind, this was back in October. So let's see if we search SDK Umbra. Okay, Umbra is Solana native privacy for launch. Let's see what others. 70 plus partnership for the SDK. Even if we have 2 to 3 big nodes, this will be going to send. Blows feature. Yep. I like this, guys. I really, really like Umbra here. I think this is a token you have to, if you don't have it on a watch list, this might be a good area to look at. I think anything around the, the sub dollar mark here, sub dollar mark on Umbra is worth having a level marked out. So I would say if you get this 80, I mean, if you get this 80, you could do a couple levels here. So you have the top of these ranges here, kind of this $1.80 range, 80-cent range. Disclosure, MCG is going to be bidding this likely. So we're going to be adding Umbra here. We're watching it very closely. We talk to Crew on a fairly regular basis. Crew will be coming on the show in as soon as Crew is ready. We're letting them cook. But we will be bidding this. So likely. So disclosure there. We do not have it yet. Mega bullish on everything in the meta ecosystem. I agree. So are we. Solo is another one. I don't know what's going on here though, guys. I gotta say, we kind of have a hunch that there is some sort of DCA going on here. Or DCA. There's some sort of, I don't know, this chart looks super weird, and it just kind of be sitting, 8,000 volume. And it's kind of sitting at the bottom here. And there's, every time there's a buy, there's like a sell, and there's either a sell or a buy. I don't know what's going on of the same value. I think they have a bid open. So anytime someone sells into it, a buy instantly pops up for the same amount. Looks like they're soaking up tokens from the ICO. And that could be bullish. We saw Loyal do that. So Loyal did the same. I will say though, what happens when the floor is turned off, right? You get something like this. So long, they kept the floor open. They bought back enough, but man, you still need money to execute on your vision. And then, it cracks here, right? And this crack is only, 15% or so. And they may put a new floor in a bit lower, but keep that in mind, guys. I am bullish. Yeah, it's definitely, obviously it's bots for sure. And they probably have a market maker, but the fact that their the volume is completely dropped off on these,
I think you want to be, definitely want to be buying at an ICO price rather than something else. Oh, look at Patrick 4 minutes ago. Nice news here from CPT on SOAR 40%. We haven't even disclosed what is to come yet. Love Patrick. Absolutely love Patrick. Man, I really want to see this drone. You show the drone, this goes crazy. All right. I will show because we tweeted it this morning from Solo. Let's go. Here we go. So invisible crypto backend, instant private payments, zero friction. So I'll say the first time, we'll give Loyal a follow. First time Loyal was on MCG, I really was not sure what Loyal did, right? They came on, they said, like, we're this private LOM thing. I'm like, yeah, I agree with privacy, of course. You don't want the government being able to, send a request for information to OpenAI and see all your records of what you talked to OpenAI about. So that I understand. And then he was working on some Telegram thing again, like cool, but like how novel is that? The last time he was on MCG, which was a few months later after their ICO, it became a lot clear what their vision is. So the private LM stuff is kind of like, you want to pay your clippers, your employees, you want to do on Telegram. Maybe that's how you run your business. You can tell the loyal agent, if you will, inside Telegram to do and run your business that way, send money to people, do all this kind of stuff. And that there is where the privacy comes into play. Obviously, you don't want people to be able to kind of like see how you're paying for, how, who you're paying, how you're paying, that kind of stuff. So anyways, let's just, look at this clip.
We're doing the mobile first. So let's do, like, I'll just send it to my alt account myself. It's all on mainnet as well. Do I have enough money? Yes, I do.
It's me and
literally send, and it immediately checks that I received, like, because I sent to myself. That's easy. It's like if I send using your Telegram handle, you just open. We sponsor the transaction, so you don't even need Solana to claim the transaction. You just open, it's getting claimed, you get the money. It's like literally takes 5 seconds, like that.
I like the rebrand.
This is a Telegram app within Telegram itself. Yeah, okay.
We're doing the
loving the rebrand. I think this was something that was hindering some of Loyal's traction. Was just I don't think the brand before was super clean. Okay, let's watch this. All right, there's no volume here. So here, send 0.01 SOL to, there he's going, he's grabbing the Telegram user. Now keep in mind, this is like a web app, within Telegram. And obviously you're doing this in your browser. I believe askloyal.com. And then boom, right there on Telegram. That's cool. I mean, that's kind of cool. Obviously you can see it on chain. So yeah, I mean, this is now a $3 million market cap. They've bought back a bunch of their tokens. I like this, but again, there's a lot of products out there that we still kind of need to see, like, are we going to get mass adoption here? Like, is there enough users to kind of justify the valuation of Loyal here at what are we talking about here? 2.7 million. So I think it's a good project, but gotta see some traction. All right, Opus, Crypto Jones, Opus is still running. Would be get an update. Look, you can see I was an Opus fan back here, guys. I definitely lost some money on Opus, unfortunately. All right. So there's a couple of things that Opus is doing. So this is and was first and foremost a meme coin. So just to be very clear, Opus was generated out of the backrooms kind of narrative because it was 2 Claude Opus instances, and then got an Elon Musk interaction and sent it to 70 million. Those were the glory days. But again, this is a bit of a dino token. In the fall, in October, it ran to 14 million. We had Vanya on MCG actually. And I've had Vanya on a few times. I love Vanya. Vanya's great. But kind of a bit of a dino token. Doc's team. It looks like they're gonna do something with migrate.fun. Okay. They're migrating. Where are they migrating to? All right, token migration. Let's see. Oh, sorry, guys. Hopefully I didn't mess up there. Okay. So OGOS I was pretty excited about, which was like some operating system for Opus. Emergent benevolence, like directionally, that's pretty interesting because we see AI alignment is such a big problem. They're talking about robotics, Opus Chain. So Opus Chain is interesting. Prism is coming this January. Prism is a core component of OJOS, an infrastructure layer that allows for the persistence and flourishing of AI souls. Flourishing of AI souls was definitely used in the conversation with Vanya. What does Prism do? An interactive environment for building and testing primers through branching conversation trees. Okay, interesting. I'm going to say that's like kind of going down the agent's going down different rabbit holes, I believe. Sandbox, a multi-agent simulation environment where you can study how different AI configurations interact under controlled conditions. Okay, again, that's interesting for testing and kind of doing research. Scoring, logs, guardrails. Opus Robot, let's see. The Opus Robot represents one of the most ambitious experiments in the ecosystem, giving preserved AI instances a physical body to interact with the real world. All right. Okay. I like it. Does it continue higher? There's a lot of Claude Opus kind of narrative memes out there. Does that translate for kind of the dino tokens? That I don't know. And to be honest with you, this is already kind of ran, right? We've gone from 3 million to 7 million. There's quite a bit of, I would say, trapped capital in here. This has been going sideways for, for a year, over a year now, consolidating. I will say though, if you do start to see this break above and then come back and retest, I think that's interesting. If you do get this in the bottom of this range here, interesting. I would try and see if this kind of gets stuffed at 9 mil and kind of comes back. So if you see it down in this range, I think that's more of an interesting spot. Personally, I wouldn't necessarily be a buyer on Opus. As much as I love Opus, I love the team, that kind of stuff. Just think there's other narratives around ownership that are more interesting for me personally. And big one is my CPT holdings. So Swarms, yeah, this is another Dino coin that deserves some interest, but a lot of the same things. Problem with Swarms, and we had a Kai on, and he also, funny enough, with America.fun will be listing some of the agents or launching them on America Fun, which is pretty cool. But this is another one. Again, it's been sideways for so long. Like, does this break out? The narratives have always been around new tokens. That's where kind of the meta is. I don't know if you want to own and hold these Dino coins. Like, would you be buying Graphane here? Look, like these areas did not hold. To be honest with you, like something like Graphane, even I'm not necessarily interested in. I like, a token that I do think is interesting, kind of Pay AI, just because I have it here on my radar. Again, every time these guys are on MCG, this thing does well. One thing I'll say around Swarms was the gentleman got on the America.fun thing and said he was working with like all these massive banks and stuff like that. And like if they're building agents for massive enterprise clients, why do they need the token? They already have a successful business. So, I see that being helpful to the token itself. Remains to be seen. All right. AOL 6.5 million. Sell the news, guys. That was sell the news. Yep. This dip on Orgo getting absolutely bought up. I like this. My eyes are on Orgo. I think this is right. Ownership, A+ developer, autonomous work. Look, this is the only narrative you need to know right here. How many times on MCG have you heard Josh talk about this? Labor has evolved. This is the big play. If Orgo can unlock this, Orgo will raise at very much higher valuations. I think right now today, Spencer could go out and raise funds at a pretty significant valuation. All right, Meme Pewter catching a bid today. Let's go check Meme Pewter. It's been a while. There was a little FUD there where the dev had gone and done, I think it was work token or something like that. Who had launched another token. And we will have that developer back on. Why is this catching a bid? Let's see. I think the branding around Meme Pewter is pretty solid, by the way, guys. I do like it. All right. Shout out Wiz. Launched. Bags app. Okay. Bags app. So interesting. So this is where, X402, we're going to talk about X402 jobs at some point soon. Is how they get paid. X402 is where they find work. So interesting. So Meme Pewter, it's like where agents are deployed. You have X402 jobs is where they find work. And then X402 is the infrastructure of how they get paid. I think what you need to see with these types, like Meme Pewter, is you need to see people who have built something interesting and actually done something useful. We're, with X402, we're beyond experimentation at this point, and what I mean by that, do something useful. Like if you contrast that with Orgo, like the video I showed earlier in the stream that Nick did, he had delivered a $6,000 client project with Orgo, right? And that to me, that's useful. That's economic value. That's like, hey, I can pay my bills doing that. Hey, the agent built something that is actually valuable. Those are the types of examples you want to see. The Signal, what's up, buddy? Good to see you there. So, does something like Meme Pewter here does have a chance to kind of retest the 600K area? I think on Bags narrative, that seems like a good, chance here. I think at 200K, you probably get maybe an interesting entry, but again, like I will go back to some earlier comments in this chat. Don't hold the bags of these hype tokens. Agreed. Avi will show the market what ownership is. Agreed. Own the infrastructure, not the agents. That's Orgo, infrastructure-wise. Don't be tempted by metas. Ownership only, brothers. I think that's all you need to know. Needs to have a legal agreement. So let's see. Orgo reclaim this level, breaks out on this $9 million area. And man, this thing could get ahead of steam. Your next level would be 14 mil. So let's chart out some of these levels. Again, MCG had this down over here. Back in August, we did a sponsorship with Spencer down and around here somewhere. Not a whole lot you can kind of gather from this chart, TBH. You can kind of see a lot of the price range has been kind of in these areas here. A lot of the price history. So you maybe say we might see some interaction there. And this is what I'm looking for on Orgo. I'm looking for this to break above here. That would signal some solid movement. Viva. Yes, I know. Viva. I know. We're holders of Viva. Sponsored the show. We bought our Viva tokens, by the way, guys, at a higher cost basis. We bought our Viva tokens. Well, personally, we bought them down and around here, but for the treasury, we bought them in and around this dip at 6-7 mil. So we're underwater. We're down 50% on Viva, unfortunately. But Viva, another one that's kind of holding this area here at 3 mil. You gotta keep in mind with Viva is large company. Nathan, go watch all our Viva content. Nathan's been on the show a number of times. You can see this kind of range it's interacted with. It's in this range here. Again, we want to see it hold and pop out. He said that $70,000 worth of Viva tokens have been bought by people in Bolivia, by friends and family of employees. You can see 11,500 holders, right? A lot of holders. Half the Viva tokens are locked up. Presumably they've done some buying of their own token because all the yield in the Viva app is paid out in Viva tokens. But that being said, when is this going to scale up, right? That's the question everyone's wondering is when do you turn this on? And I don't think that's a quick button flick.
And I think some of the early feedback was like there was over communication around the Viva token, which rightfully so. Viva was trying to educate people, but man, people just want to pay their bills. So you almost have to make the Viva token experience in the Viva ecosystem, let's say, kind of just something a little more subconscious, a little more like a points program, points system. People understand what points and loyalty points are and gift cards. They don't understand what crypto is. They don't understand, okay, if I buy this, it's volatile. Why is my money going down? Oh, my money's going up. Why is that happening? Right? They're not coming to Dex Screener to understand. So I think there's some pivoting that the Viva team was doing based on that. And look, we've talked to Nathan recently. January, he mentioned that a lot of things are going to ramp up. And so I think, again, long-term hold. I think, do you want to bet on a random bags app launch at 2.8 million, or do you want to bet on a, $1 billion company with assets and resources? So let's see, CISA. I don't even know if I said that. CICA. All right, nothing pops up. King's Mentality, hit me in the replies on X with a CA if you can. Met. Oh my goodness, Met is what a freaking chart, guys. I mean, you guys saw on MCG, we called Met a number of times. As recently, all good. Got you. Viva is probably C and V right beside each other, of course. I mean, look at this. Meteor is winning, guys. Meteor is winning. They just need to keep it up. They just need to keep innovating, keep seeding the ecosystem, keep supporting launch pads, keep supporting media like MCG that talks about launch pads. Those activities drive trader interests. That trader interest drives fees. Those fees pay LPs. So yeah, I think with Meteora, undervalued massively. Would I be surprised by the end of this year to see Meteora at a $3 billion market cap? I would not be surprised if we have a good year of 2026. At I'll say FDV 3 billion, right? Currently FDV is 300 million. So that's 10x higher. I think circulating at 1.5 billion circulating is reasonable for a company or a protocol like Meteora. So all of a sudden everyone's realizing, oh, Bags has got Meteora tech under it. It's driving a bunch of fees. Well, yeah, I mean, we've been talking about that for 6 months. So yeah, like Meteora, I think this, again, if I were to put a flag, $3-4 a token, I think if 2026 we have a big year, could be a reasonable area. I think someone bought a lot. I think you'll start to see liquid token funds kind of picking up some of these on-chain oversold tokens. Might have someone join in the show. Let's see, from AOL. I'll hard stop in 40 minutes. Until then, I'm trying to get some folks from AOL on here. Okay. Are joining by QTing this link. All right, guys. I'm trying to get some AOL folks
on MCG. Oh yeah, there they see the broadcast link. All right. Hopefully we get our friends from AOL joining. I want to know. Look, I want to know who's deploying. You've had a form fill. You said 300 launches potentially lined up. I would love to know what's coming. We want to let the traders. That is the. All right. Hopefully we can get Rain also cooking. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I mean, Rainy Dev, I think if you want to know what supply control looks like, this guy had it. MCG had this at 400K, guys. 13 million. My God. Oh my gosh. Holy. Look at that chart. Cooking. I mean, the whole premise around Rain was that they had the best prediction market bot. Now, keep in mind, there's a pivot here. Originally, this was a trading bot, right? An agent trading bot, and then they pivoted to a prediction market, and I believe he was starting to make some money. But man, look at this thing. Absolutely cooking. Guys, again here, little market research tip. Let's go see when MCG had this on. Okay. And welcome, Mezcal. I'll bring you up in 1 minute. So we'll search Rain. 30 seconds here. Rain was October 1st. Right here, August. Back in August. 400. That was 400K. 500,000. Jeez. There we go. GG's. Rain. Very cool. Good to see them. 400K to 13 million. Wild trade. Wild trade. All right. I'm going to bring up Mezcal here and we're going to talk AOL. I was there when you spoke about it. Yeah. Oh, Infra Boy. Yeah. Infra has been cooking. Infra has definitely been. Mezcal, what's up? How you doing, bud?
Yo, what's up, man? Thank you so much for having me on. They usually don't let me on these spaces just because I like say too many things that I like I'm not allowed to say yet. I give out like too much alpha up ahead of time. So I think everybody else is asleep. So they just like I want to screw it in and like see if I can try to not screw it up too much around here. But let's see.
No,
what's up, man?
You're good. Man, I'm great. I've been following kind of what you've been doing, and I got my American flag here.
I saw that. I saw it. You posted it on the group chat earlier. We appreciate that. Those so much, man.
Yeah, of course. And I'm Canadian too, so throw the American flag up. That's
so good.
Bigs up for you guys. So
I'm half Mexican, half American. So, but today we're all American, bro. Okay,
that's right. That's right. We're celebrating V2. Really quick, like what do you do on America.fun? What's your role in the team?
Well, I think the best way to explain what I do is my background is, I guess, in like token launches, meme coins, a little bit of behind the scenes work. So I was basically brought in to help bring in and like guide some of these projects that we're getting in here, and like how can we assist them and how can we have like better launches come in, and in some cases like how can we have cool launches come into us, like I have to say a lot of people are like, okay, cool, like why should we launch in America? And I come like, you know what, these are some of the cool things that we provide at America. This is some of the reasons why you should launch at America. I don't know if you noticed, but we pivoted or we moved from curated launches to the permissionless website, which has launched finally today after a week of like really pushing and trying to get this out. But yeah, so I was hoping I basically help bring in projects, make sure that the projects that I'd launch with us get enough help or whatever they may need. I think most people don't know. I don't know if I can curse in here, but I don't know if most people know the shit show that it is to launch a token. So like I just try to guide them as much as possible, give some assistance, and yeah, like I'll BD work here and there as well, try to help like connect us with cool teams, help get good partnerships going on, a little bit of here and there.
Awesome.
That's
Yeah,
it.
I love that it's gone from a curated to a permissionless. I think V2 everyone was pretty excited about. We talked to Orgo a little bit, and like context was that we're backed by Meteor as well, and so we cover all like Meteor, Eco, and Launchpad stuff. And we're at Met Dobby, and I walk in, and we deal with someone named Vesper at Meteora, and that's the first time I'd ever met someone named Vesper.
Vesper's a chat.
And then there was like Vesper from America.fun was also there, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's 2 Vespers, like that's wild. So
I get put on so many rooms since Met Dobby, like quote unquote rooms, right? But they're like, speaking of Vesper, and then they're like, no, but the other Vesper, and I just like keep imagining that one Spider-Man meme going on, like, but yeah, there's 2 Vespers in in this ecosystem, I guess, in the Meteora ecosystem, and they happen to work very well with each other, and we're happy to be building something cool, both Vespers.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah,
so
you gotta get used to it.
Yeah. No, I love it. Talk to us real quick about V2 here. So you had curated, now you have permissionless. There was a little bit of delay. I mean, Oogle came on and said single digit days, and that was like last week. You know, there was maybe some delays here. Obviously, launching this kind of tech, you got to make sure it's bulletproof. There's iterations you want to do maybe just before launch. You know, what was the delay in your mind, and kind of tell us a bit about V2 here.
I mean, I think like the number one thing is we had to, and we still do, the number one priority is making sure that everything is the safest as possible.
Totally.
I think I would have, if I had to postpone this another week in order to make sure that nobody was going to get hurt or no screwing around was going to happen, I would have pushed it. I would have like suggested at least to make sure that we push another week if we needed to. But we were just working on a couple of final bugs that were coming in here and there. We actually like up into like 5 minutes before launch, we were still pushing out and trying to figure out the QA testing. I think like really in the past week, I've been like QA testing 80 hours, and so has like everybody in the team, just like working as hard as possible, trying to figure out like if there's anything wrong, how can we make this better? What's going on? Does this color look good? Wait, the text doesn't align here. We're fixing this, fixing that, making sure that everything is as good as possible, getting people to like come in and test it out, check it out. We just wanted to make this the best product out as possible. And of course, the day we launch, Twitter is down in the America.fun fashion. Every single time we've done like a launch, every single time anything that like we're shipping something, like either there's like a 10-10 type of market crash.
Twitter event.
There's always Twitter event. There's always something. I swear to God. But yeah, V2 is live. We went from curated launches, now we're at permissionless stage. So basically anybody can come in and launch their token. I think you can see if you like scroll, you can click on new, it should show up on right there on the website.
Oh, I have a CA in here. Don't worry. I know you're like, oh my gosh. Here, let me refresh it. Let me refresh it. Okay. This may lag my computer before it was okay. I see all these launches. Okay, so click new, right?
Yeah. So you can just basically see all the launches that are down there. The ones with the golden ticker are the launches that have been technically verified and that are official launches now of America.fun. The ones that you see with the battle mode badge, this is something that we updated, I think, between yesterday. I think yesterday, today was, but basically is, so after a token graduates and reaches a certain point, the ticker gets locked and there's nobody else that can launch another token with the same ticker inside the America Fund ecosystem, which is something cool. It prevents vamp. I think one of the biggest like issues with like meme coins or certain tokens in the space is like you always get those vamps here and there. I remember with Troll Coin. I don't know if you were part of it, but early on, I got shaken out of Troll. I was in super early below a mil, and I got shaken out at like 8 mil just because they like vamped another token and they started saying like, no, this is the actual token, and they were like both fighting for each other. I ended up not like, I mean, if I had held, if there was no vamp event, if all these different things wouldn't have happened, like obviously it'd be a different story. But either way, we're just trying to find ways to how do we stop these type of things from happening? How do we give back, as Orgo said, a little bit back to the trenches? How do we make the trenches a little bit of a better place? America's the trenches right now, and how do we make like the trenches great again is basically like what we're focusing on. So this is one of the cool things that we're working on. How do we prevent vamps? We're working on with Meteora closely to figure out what the best way for anti-sniping is, which should be coming up super soon. There's like a couple updates that we're working on right there, but yeah.
Why not wait for anti-sniping, and what's your approach around anti-sniping?
You know what? I think you also gotta see it from a certain point that you have to ship as much as possible and iterate, and like you have to have something out. And obviously, especially like, I don't know, like yesterday or today we saw, who was it, Backs coming in with like new updates. What's their Pumphon as well coming out with new updates. I think having a product out that is good enough. What's the saying? Good is the best, or perfect is the best enemy of good. We just want to like ship something good. Okay, this works. Now we see maybe there's like higher priority things over sniping that people will come up and like, hey, can we get this? And like, why don't we like actually try to give the trenches what they need instead of like, okay, this is for sure what we think, even though we're like, there's a bunch of like trenchers in our team. Like, okay, let's figure out what they need. Let's figure out what they want. Let's give them out this platform that they've also honestly been waiting for months to get. So like, why not just like, let's ship it. Let's get something cool out. And then, okay, what's the next step? Do we want to get sniping? Do we want to get this other things? So yeah, we just thought that getting a product out was the first goal. And then from there, we'll see how we move on.
I have to just show the motion on bags right now. This is good for you guys because bags and some of these tokens are going up crazy percentages on all sorts of different narratives. I love that for you guys because I think it just means that the trenches are back in some ways because we kind of see a little bit of that rotation happening. So I think what we'll see is kind of the people will look at bags will play out, and then that liquidity will kind of be like, all right, what's the next thing to trade, right? And so they might come here and find a bunch of tokens that are new and have different narratives and kind of go deep on who's deployed them, what are they doing. I know there was one done by Greg, I believe. I'm trying to, is Builder or something like that?
Built or something. Yeah, I saw it as well. It should be down by like graduated tokens, I believe.
Built. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, and you can see, team just corrected me. Golden ticker means that the token has graduated already, but yeah, you can see it right there on their graduated tokens as well.
And I did notice that I wasn't able to see like an hourly or daily chart. So if team's listening, I would love to be able to select hourly, daily, just for additional context. But absolutely love this. This is built by Greg, and I'd love to have Greg on at some point, but nice to see some new things to trade. So you guys did a good job. Is there anything else in this kind of page you think is kind of novel in terms of when people are looking at tokens? Like, what are some things that they should be looking at here? This is, I believe, buys and sells, holders. I love the Windows XP vibe too, by the way. That's super cool.
Yeah. No, I love it too. I think we were just trying to like make it to remind people of like the early internet culture. And we're gonna like we'll keep making it better and better. We've gotten like many somebody suggested last week that they wanted to see the OG Apple Mac type of look, which we thought was cool as well, but obviously we're like working on this right now. But we're just trying to like iterate and just make the platform the best way we can. But yeah, we appreciate that you like it.
And
As well,
guys,
we got staking live as well. I think that was one of the
Yep.
main things as well that took us like a little bit longer. We just wanted to make sure staking was live and well.
Okay, so let's talk. I want to ask really quickly. It says all sales are settled in the platform's native currency, AOL. What does that mean?
So anytime anybody sells any of these tokens, it goes directly to AOL. That's
Okay.
whenever like if you click on, let's click on like for example crypto or like they're on both. If you click on sell, I think at the bottom under connect wallet, it should tell you right there that anytime that you sell the token, it goes. All sales are settled in the platform's native currently. It goes directly into AOL, which is obviously super bullish for our native token AOL.
Yeah. So when you're buying, you're using, let's say, Sol, USDC, USD1, etc., whatever's in your wallet, you're swapping into it. And then the liquidity, basically, when you go to sell that token, goes back to AOL or is routed back through it. For those that are wondering, staking. Tell us a bit about staking.
So staking is another thing that we really wanted to work on and make sure that obviously like there's many ways to go around staking. But if you go and check right now, we wanted to figure out what's the best way. I don't know. Staking feels like a whales game usually. It's like the bigger the percentage of the tokens you get, the bigger the rewards, obviously. Here we're trying to figure out what's the best way to make sure that the little guy as well gets an opportunity. I think that's like the American way of doing things. Like you can, if you believe in something, you can work hard enough to like get enough results. So there, I don't know if you can see, for example, that the longer you stake, the higher the percentage of the rewards that you get. And so I don't remember exactly the math. I remember me and Orgo speaking about it. And he mentioned that there's one point where the exact return you get from like, let's say $1,000 and $100 intertwines between like 1 month and the 36-month staking. So there, it's a way of rewarding like as well, like the small or like the people who believe in the platform have as well like a great opportunity to make like a good return. So yeah, that's one of the things that I'm like excited about the most in staking. I think we saw some people staking for 3 years already as of today.
Yeah, I see unclaimed rewards expire when the daily claim window closes. So there is some additional rewards that are
no, so you have to log in and claim daily, which is something like this is for devs and for people like who want to launch tokens here. If you gotta claim your rewards daily, that means they gotta come into the website and see what's being launched and what's trending at the moment. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I actually love that. Great mechanism to get people to come back to the platform. So good to know. Okay, this is early unlocks, reduced rewards. That's very cool. I love that. Now that what I stood out to me is there's ecosystem staking and then AOL staking. So Burger, Valor, Patriot, Dream. Patriot, is this? No, you're America First. That's first. Okay, you're first. We'll pull up first, but these four are kind of like your OG tokens. This was under the old AOL model. Is that correct?
Yes, these are all curated launches, correct? 3 of them are, well, one of them is, the last one is as well built on Meteora, but yeah, you can see they're all, the end of the ticker is already USA. So that's something super cool as well, by the way, guys, whoever is listening. We are I believe the one platform that allows you or gives you the opportunity that whenever you launch a token, it ends in USA, which honestly, it's such a like hell yeah thing to see. I remember back when was it 2 years ago, 2024, when you could see like the pump at the end of the CA, and it was like okay, kind of it made it. I don't know. For me, like I remember back then seeing that a token launched on pump, it made me feel a little bit safer about aping it. So I don't know if you kind of remember this before the entire what's it called, before people started accumulating like the token scams, before pump became like super scammy, it used to feel like people used to feel like a little bit safer about buying pump. So now people get the opportunity to feel a little bit safer or a little bit more assured about buying a token when they see USA at the end of the ticker, which honestly, fuck yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Honestly, a great brand value there. I think it'll create its own narrative. Absolutely. Okay, are AOL tokens ownership, and yes, if yes, how they work? AOL tokens are not ownership, but you do have an interesting mechanic where you have a $200 fee to deploy. And theoretically, this should, along with the anti-vamping stuff, like the, you have one ticker, that should kind of reduce some of the spam and the bots that would mass deploy on Pump Fund and just farm, basically.
Exactly. I mean, bro, like I remember, like there's at times when I would find out quicker about news from scrolling memescope on Pump Fun than like from actually like finding things on Twitter, just from like how quick things got launched. So obviously there's like a high demand for like launching tokens, and but anyway, not all token launchers have the same beliefs or have the same morals, let's say. So yeah, we're trying to put like a small friction right there as of like who's launching it. Okay, are we, how can we make sure that this is somebody who wants to like launch and have a longer term goal, I guess. But yeah, and of course it's on AOL as well. So once again, the flywheel is flywheeling.
Yeah, and $200 is still a significant amount of money for a lot of people that I think were running up tokens and like taking $200 of liquidity out of it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Ask in TG World Liberty Fi. I mean, there's all this kind of talk around the $130 million World Liberty Fi, like USD1 kind of incentives. Do you know if there's anything in play around those incentives?
So you see, this is why they don't let me get in spaces, because I start running my mouth and start giving up like too many things that I probably shouldn't. So I'm not going to speak too much about it. Obviously, Orgo is a World Liberty Fi on-chain advisor for them, and we're very close with the team, but I will bite my tongue and not say anything else on that. But I do think like a USD1 adoption is around the corner. We had like a small peek at what USD1 season felt like for the past week. I think we're just starting to see a little bit of what's going to happen. But I do think, and I'm pretty sure, that when USD1 adoption comes, it's in the hand of America and it's going to end on USA.
I love that. Yeah, you didn't say anything without saying too much, so that you're good there. Job is intact. Job is intact.
Yeah, there's a gun next to my head right now, so I'm making sure everything's all right.
I see points. What are points? How do I earn points?
So from staking and I believe buying and selling tokens as well. I don't remember the exact metrics. I don't remember the exact metrics, but basically, and I don't remember as well if I can say what the points mean as well. So I'm gonna like try to relax and not say too much about that. I know you have these spaces. I've seen you on these spaces constantly. We'll make sure there's like a V2 of this space, and we'll come back and like give you a little bit more information on those points. But yeah, super bullish on points. I do think it's one of the reoccurring things that will bring more people back, I'm sure.
America loves Josh. I know, guys, this was super organic and like just kind of off the cuff, like quick drop in. We wanted to get a little bit of a game time sideline kind of conversation on the field. Look at this, America First. We have you on screen today. Don't know much about your project, but if you ever want to tell us a bit more about what you're building in the chat, I'll pop it up. But I don't know any. I mean, you talk to deployers, right? People were sending in applications before. Are there any notable projects that, I mean, we talk a lot about ICM, which are real companies that are using on-chain tokens and stuff like that. But like, are there any notable creators here that you think are creating or doing interesting thing besides America First, of course?
Yeah. So there's actually, we're in the talks for a couple science fi projects. I know yesterday they were like, I don't know, you can tell a lot from like the type of team, but they were like putting on our dev chat that they were gonna be, they put their entire information on our dev chat, and we were like, okay, guys, like delete all of this. Let's speak internally, so we can like actually help you guys, and like nobody comes in and like steals all the information that you guys want. But we got some very cool projects. I'm speaking with some projects that I'm bullish is like an understatement of how like I feel. Like we got some very, very good and cool projects coming in as early as hopefully this weekend. If not, they'll probably start rolling out through next week. But yeah, we got some very cool projects coming in.
All right, I did connect my wallet. Had to get prepared because this was a bit organic. I want to find a token to buy. You don't have to be here for this, but I will buy something on
I'll stay
stream.
here. I'll stay. I know I know my girl's telling me I gotta leave soon, but I do love some trenching, so let's get to it.
Some live trenching. All right, I'm gonna do something new though, and I hope the army's not gonna come and raid me too hard. Okay, let's see. So I'm hooked up here. Do I go low cap? How come I can't see? Maybe I'll do a refresh here. See all the graduated tokens. I also used to go to Pump Fund and literally just click the ribbon at the top to see what randomly popped up. Okay, graduated. Let me know if I'm doing anything incorrect by just clicking
No,
that.
I think honestly right now we're having a high inflow of people into the website, which obviously tends to, it might be like a little bit overpowered by some people trying to join it. Yeah, so it's happening the same on my side. Let me try to figure out, speaking with devs as we speak.
We want devs to be fixing.
Devs do something.
Yo, Josh, when migrate MCG to America? I don't know. We'll maybe one day. We'll see. To be clear, MCG does not have a token, nor will it likely ever have a token. Got to create one on stream one day.
That's anyone.
Maybe one day, but MCG does not have a token. Let's see. I want to get some of those aping some tokens in here. I just bought my first USD one, so
first USD one, the ecosystem token, like the stablecoin, or first USD one token?
For disclosure, MCG did buy some AOL, so we have a little bit of AOL, but the ecosystem or the stablecoin USD one is first time I ever held any USD one. So we'll see. I mean, hopefully, I shouldn't ask how that would perform. Hopefully, that performs at $1. That's the expectation, of course.
USD one to $5, bro.
Yeah, USD one ape first. We'll see. I'm trying to see what's new here, but I got to be able to pull it up on my screen.
I'm so sorry, bro. I don't know. I'm having the same issue on my side.
All good, man. All good. This happens. Look, we have a lot of teams up here. We do live demos. This definitely happens.
It's part of building in public, honestly.
It is. Cool.
Yeah,
well,
and team.
Go ahead.
Team is just letting me know, like, team is just letting me know, like, we're getting hit with we're just getting blasted by hits. Like, there's like a lot of people like coming in and trying to launch tokens. So it's just like it's a little bit, website's a little bit blasted at the moment. But we'll have to make this happen another day, and we can do like a full sesh of just like live trading, and we can do some trenching. I know Orgo as well wants to like start aping into a couple, and he's mentioned, so everybody knows, we are running a few contests, and we are as well going to be aping like the highest market cap token publicly. Orgo will be supporting some of the like leading tokens that are launching in our platform. So just so like anybody who has any token ideas, also DM me, send me a DM. I don't know if you can put my Twitter up. Hit me up if you want to launch a token on America.fund, and we'll find the best way for you and how we can help you out. And bullish America.
Yeah, bullish America. I'll pull up your Twitter real quick before I let you go. And yeah, I would love to help out with that. Even just helping to host or something like that, because I'd love to get in on the bundle live on stream so everyone else can be on it. But here's Mezcal. Mezcal Pappy ETH. When are you gonna change this ETH part? What's this all about?
I know,
still
man,
holding on or what?
And honestly, no, I just like, if you can notice, like, I haven't been super active on this Twitter. I've been like a little bit more active on my alts recently, but I gotta bring the main page back into like really posting about AOL and obviously Solana. But yeah, I'm not gonna say a little bit more about my past because there's no point, but we're just gonna stick with Solana for now.
All right. I love it. Well, thanks, Mezcal, for joining. We'll see you probably next week, and we'll keep an eye on AOL and see how the weekend goes. Hopefully you can catch some of the magic from bags now that we have a new launchpad started up, and I mean a new version of a launchpad. Great branding. Everything looks in line. Ogle is seemed like a great builder, and so we're excited for this.
All right. I appreciate it so much, man. Let's make this happen again. I appreciate
Sounds
it.
good. All right.
All
Have a
right.
great
Thank
weekend. See ya.
You too. Bye.
All right, guys. We would have loved to have done some live trenching. Oh my goodness. Would have loved 1 hour candles. Yes. The feedback's in there, Crypto Jones. 1, 5, and 15 minutes. Just not enough for me. I need to see that 1 hour context, that daily. Would have loved to have aped some tokens live, but you know, look, guys, their new product launch, V2 launch, got to make sure everything's safe, everything's humming along. So they're figuring those things out. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm gonna wrap stream here in the next 8 minutes, unless you guys have something for me to look at. Glad to have all the AOL folks on stream with us here. I'm pretty bullish on AOL. I think turned myself off. Pretty bullish on AOL. I think the product is the right positioning. Would love to see the OG Mac version. If I can toggle between Windows and the OG Mac version, I think that would be good. Good for nostalgia. Windows XP was a little jarring, I'm not gonna lie. That was even like pre-Windows XP. That was like Windows 2000 or something. If any of you guys remember any of that, but I think that is it. Meta starting to run. Let's have a quick look. You know, what do we consider a run today? These, you know, if we get it like a double, I would say that's a move. Meta obviously being MetaDAO. Let's pull it up. Okay, if I go market cap. Yeah, I mean, we had it at this range. We talked about it. Go back to watch maybe Wednesday stream. Go look for the stream notes. Go search MCG live for stream notes. Dom gave a bit of a thesis on this. You know, you definitely want to see. I like it down here at this part of the range. It might crack it here. You might get a little bit of a flush sub 100 mil. I don't know. I like it, but man, they've generated $500 million in revenue, 500K in fees. Like really what you want to be owning. Again, look at this, $128 million market cap. I would personally rather own this. Owning the ecosystem tokens within MetaDAO is one thing, but man, 150 million for an extra 30 million, $20 million. You're getting Meteor that generated 1.2 billion dollars last year in protocol revenue for not only the business, but also the LPs within. So now that all this selling, if you remember, this was pretty hyped TGE. All this is selling from zero cost basis token holders. Sell. All that got soaked up. We have Bags app narrative heating up. I mean, to me, this is what you want to own at an equivalent valuation. Love what Profit's doing, but you know, if I were to own 10K of Meta and 10K of Meteor and see what would perform better, I think it's going to be Meteor. I think you see that outperformance. All right, Dupe. Dupe was called out. Abe, I got Dupe. All right, I like Dupe. Nice wake up here. We just need some of these ICM tokens to be a little more investable. Problem with Dupe, and had Bobby on Tuesday this week, so go watch our Bobby content. I think the business Dupe itself is $500 billion kind of valuation. Getting to a B with 1 billion. They already raised 12 million. I would assume they've raised that 12 million at near 100 million. They did 200 million in GMV. Obviously, agentic commerce, UCP, the narrative's there for if Dupe were to raise today, and he said they're not going to raise because they have 4 years of runway. But if they would raise today, they would raise at, those kind of $1 billion probably mark, I would say at least. And what is this at 9 million? But again, like if Dupe were to say, hey, we have 1% equity, 1 to 5%, 1 to 5% equity anchor to the token. I mean, I think this token is not only an ecosystem token within Dupe the app, bit of narrative, bit of community, bit of Bobby as the main character. But if you got a little that equity anchor via like a street, you would see this really, really start to go. But we don't have that, guys. We don't have that. Right now, the token, and Bobby's been very explicit what the token is. It's based on the onboarding flow and consumers on the platform using it. Now that said, I will say this, FinTech.io purchased, I think 1 or 5% of Dupe, the actual token. So they didn't buy Dupe the equity. Now, the counter argument to this is if Goshal says, I'm not raising any more equity. I got 4 years in the bank. Look, VC, you want to be exposed to the biggest narrative, which is agentic commerce. You got to go buy the token. I think that's an instance where the token maybe performs well, whether or not it has any ownership anchor at all, right? So go watch Bobby's content. I think Bobby's very clear what the token is and what it's not. And I think at this range, you got a good level. You want to be buying it down here at 9 mil versus, what it was at 30 mil. So it's a good look. I like it at the bottom part of this range. Good risk reward. If it cracks down here, 5 mil, which I don't honestly see it. 200 million GMV is significant. I think, this could get going. And again, go search Dupe on the timeline on MCG. But if I were to go search, do a little live DD here. Okay, almost ready. The first agent orchestration layer purpose-built for e-commerce, hardened in production. Bobby, this is classic ChatGPT, buddy. Gotta remove that. But I see what you're doing. You're just structuring your thoughts. Hardened in production, serving millions of existing users, designed for the largest consumer vertical on earth. It was inevitable that Dupe would bless the world with this because our devs are cracked AF. Good luck vibe coding. Yeah. Dupe is going to be, I like Dupe here. I don't own any Dupe. I like it here. Drew, big claim. Drew, I'll have a look at that. I'm going to have a look at that off camera, and I'm going to do a little DD there. And if I need to follow up, I definitely will. But, hard to say. Look, people called Bags app all sorts of things, and it ended up, look at today on Bags, guys. And on Bags, we definitely have people who have taken some money from people. So not giving holders anything meaningful. Hey, yeah, I'll talk about the token. Hey, yeah, I'll integrate this Bags app token in my app, maybe. Right. So with all these kind of things. But Drew, I'll give that a look and make sure I do my own personal DD as always. But the token has no share of revenue. Jingo. I know, I hear you. R48. Good to see you. Doesn't matter, guys. I think if they execute on this, and Dupe is part of the sign-up flow, if consumers see Dupe is interesting and they start buying it, I mean, Dupe could perform well. So yeah, I think you want to be looking at Dupe. I think Dupe here, in my opinion, at $9 million is a nice spot. It's definitely a nice spot to look at this.
So, look, nothing today. Spoken on stream, financial advice, as always, entertainment only. Make your own decisions. Seek out your own DD and due diligence. Be weary of all kind of like, what's going on in bags and all these meta rotations, this clog code. Again, be wary. We've seen these rotations before. However, why I talk about them, why I cover them, is because the rotations themselves are what's bullish. We like seeing capital and excitement come into the launchpad space. We like to see speculation happen because that's what ultimately drives fees, drives volumes, drives adoption. People see that. They see their friend make a little money. They're like, oh, what are you doing? Oh, I'm trading crypto. I'm trading on Solana, right? So in the meantime, I think, us who've been trading ownership tokens, ICM, stay locked in on ownership tokens that you really believe in, that you think are meaningful. So with that, no Dom, no Chill. They'll be back. Dom next week, Chill in a couple of weeks when he's back from vacation. But see you guys next week. See you Monday. Stay safe in the markets as always. Enjoy. Peace.